the second one,
I
so
think
I can't.
she's a meanie.
Oh,
You
you're
guys
holding
hear
back.
You guys hear about they're making a John Wick comic book prequel and a John Wick TV show prequel?
Because that's what the world was missing.
They're making a TV show,
Yeah.
But it's about the Continental Hotel.
so he better not be in it.
Oh, he's gonna make a cameo.
By the way, I hit record. Welcome to this untitled podcast. I am your moderator, the sprinkle maker, Toby.
Ew.
You boys introduce yourselves in your respective titles.
Well, they call me the Muffin Man.
Is that all they call you?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a name, Mr. Muffin Man?
Nope.
His name's Ben. Hi, Ben.
It's the Muffin Man to you, boy.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. And last but certainly not least.
I'm Zach. I have no idea what name would be fitting for me whatsoever.
Okay, so...
How about Zach?
Okay, we'll do that.
Hey, you're on to something, buddy.
Oh.
So, I'm going to deposit one question, you guys. Playing any games recently?
Shadow of Mordor. I bought it and I've been playing it.
Did you finish it or did you give up?
How far? I have
kinda.
not played Shadow of Mordor, but I have it. I just have not gotten around
I'm not
to
that
it.
far because the game takes forever. But like I killed 3 out of 4 war chiefs, and I can't beat the 4th one because he keeps hitting me once and I die.
Yeah, the game
It's such a fucking.
I thought it was really hard to get through until halfway through. So once you finish the war chiefs and you fight like the main, I forget what it's called, but the main
Aragorn.
captain thing.
Frodo.
Aragon.
No, that's worse.
Grumbledore.
Yeah.
You move to another location that actually has color and like more,
It's so
more
nice.
plot. Yeah. And it gets a lot more interesting there because they add in all these new mechanics that wasn't in the beginning. So I don't know.
The beginning is literally just you running around, orcs going, "Hey, it's the ranger! Kill him!" And then you're like, "Oh, okay," and you kill a few of them, and then all of a sudden some fucking dude with a shitty, just a fucking stupid name like Lumbug, the bone splicer, or like Rat, the cock grabber, and you're like, okay.
Shrek the Shrock monster.
Yeah.
Hey, get out to me, castle!
Yeah, literally you hear that, and you kill a bunch, and every time you're about to finally kill one, he always has a line that's like, "You're weak," and then you stab him.
What I've noticed
So
is that the more they expand upon Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, the sillier the names get because they run out of like how to make names fit in this universe.
I feel like it's an algorithm. Like there's one that's it's like Urag Go Shrub, and then there's Shurag Go Rub, and I think it's like literally it's procedural. Like there's no way.
Honestly, they should just do the Dragon Ball method and just like have every series of villains like have a theme. Like the Piccolo's, like there's trombone or whatever. Like
Piccolo's so gross.
Piccolo's a gross name even for an instrument. But then there's like Frieza, Cooler, King Cold, or no, is that what his name was? I don't know.
I'm not
And
Dragon
then
Ball Z.
no, and then there's Bibbidi Bobbidi and Boo, Cinderella.
You gay?
No, no.
Blush you.
Did you watch Dragon Ball Z?
I feel like
It's the manliest thing you can do when you
I
grow
really
up.
feel like I didn't watch Dragon Ball.
I never
Z.
got into it. I tried.
You never got into
it always
Dragon
weirded.
Ball
I was a Marvel kid. Marvel was my thing, and then Dragon Ball Z weirded me out. It was just like, what is this?
I remember tuning in every Saturday to Toonami, and I was watching the Boo arc, and I was like, "Oh no, Boo's turning people to chocolate." I was really taken away. I was really taken away by the levels of incredible storytelling that Dragon Ball Z really takes it.
I think what deterred me was 2 things: was how long they took to power up, because it'd be like 19 episodes later, and it'd be him just going, "Ah!" And I was like, okay. And the other thing was Piccolo just grossed me out. He's just so disgusting.
Piccolo was like that cool uncle that you only wanted to hang out with one day because if you hung out with him any longer, he'd like get really touchy.
I used to watch the Batman Scooby-Doo crossover, and
that was the shit. That was awesome.
Favorite part of that was "Holy Bat Snacks, Batman!" And
Is that really a line?
Yeah.
Ew.
He would always give Scooby bat-shaped Scooby snacks, and that was just the pinnacle.
How funny
of
would it
cartoon
be?
writing.
And I say funny with air quotes. Is if like Scooby started to choke on the sharp ends of the bat cookie,
Dies.
and he's just he
Whoa!
just throws.
Whoa!
How awesome would it be to just traumatize a whole generation of kids and just watch Scooby-Doo vomit blood because he chokes on like a bat cookie?
Holy shit, fuck Batman!
you know something that's been
This is why they don't put us in charge of these shows.
Something that's been accepted as canon in like the whole every Scooby-Doo cartoon ever made is that Scooby and Shaggy actually eat raw Scooby snacks together.
Ew.
and that they don't know where they get them from. That's still a thing. I swear Fred was like, where do you guys get Scooby snacks from anyway? And they just looked at him and continued to eat them.
It's just
so
Scooby's own shit that they put in a box.
They freeze it?
They just keep pooping the boxes into like those cookie cutters, then freezing them back in the box.
Okay, yeah. Oof.
Ben, what about you?
So you thought about
Oh my god, wait, what if Shaggy was actually eating Scooby's poop and it was giving, and the chemicals in the poop like drugged him or
Oh my
whatever,
God.
or like fucked him up to the point where he thought the dog was talking. And so the whole show is actually in
What?
Shaggy's
So they're
perspective.
edibles. They're literally
So they're
edibles.
shit edibles.
Oh my god, that is
They're
such.
shrooms.
You're wow.
Hey, you should be an art guy, you know?
You should be a Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Ben, you playing?
What
any
does
games?
that mean?
I don't know. You playing any games recently?
I started Wolfenstein: The Old Blood yesterday, and I don't like it as much as the New Order because
It's a prequel, right?
Yeah, but there's this whole segment. I've only done the beginning, and actually, the villain in The Old Blood is probably one of my favorite villains aside from Voss. And
You mean the blonde lady?
No, the guy with the dog.
When you said Voss, I pictured a vase.
I do not remember the campaign of Wolfenstein as well as I thought.
His name is Rudy Yeager, and he has
It's my
this,
favorite alcohol.
his monologue. Honestly, in the beginning of kind of the beginning of the game is my favorite thing because like the first time you meet him, he's like, "Oh, what is your name?" And he's like, "You Frankfurter, hot dog," and like the main character,
What?
BJ is like, "Yeah, I'm a hot dog," and he goes, "Hot dog," and I'm like, "Yes, I love this guy." But his monologue is insane.
Wow.
It's like he I won't spoil it. You should go watch it. But there's this whole segment in the beginning that pissed me off because there are these giant mech people with like chain guns, and they're attached to kind of like how a cable car is attached to like the electrical grid, like you know what I'm talking about, like by the wire.
It's been like over a year since I played Wolfenstein. I don't remember.
But like they're attached to like the ceiling with like this electricity, and you can turn it off, and they power down. But like the process of doing that is so arduous, and it takes so fucking long that I didn't want to do it, and I was like, no! So I picked up the chain gun, and I started shooting them, and I just kept dying over and
You
over.
gotta do it, otherwise you're never gonna see Mr. Hot Dog again.
And I tried playing Shadow of Mordor again, even though I finished it, but when you die in that game, it's
So
like
frustrating.
it's like Dark Souls where it resets. So like
Oh boy.
like if you kill captains, like the underlings get promoted if you die, and like
Oh, that's cool.
and it's cool because they remember you. So like
That's cool, but the problem is this is a weird like bullshit.
it just takes
problem.
too long to
Yes.
kill them, so it's fucking annoying.
Yes, and when you die, it shows you basically every orc that or Uric or whatever they call him that was involved levels up.
It's
But the
so
thing is, though, is that
fucking
takes like 15 minutes, so you die, and you have to watch like a 15-minute, I don't know, cinematic.
It's almost like chess piece. It's literally like
yeah.
like one of them will die, and then another takes its place, and they go, "Hurrah!" And then like they glow, and it's like Toe Jam Ballsack got promoted to chief, and he's like,
Holy
Here's the thing, though.
And
Those
it's like,
names,
oh
I
my
will say,
God.
are fitting to how dumb all the Urics are. But at
Yeah.
the same time, you are right that it is totally. There's
It's-
totally an
it's
algorithm.
It's procedural.
I want to
It's
know
so
why
weird.
there isn't a franchise that has names like casually like Toe Jam Ballsack or like Frankfurter Hot Dog Mystery.
Every Skyrim character I've ever made has been Toe Jam Hot Sack.
Oh god.
What do you mean every? You've made multiple?
Yes,
How many?
at least 12.
Why? Have you beat the game?
No, well, once.
But you played it 11 more times? Or at least started it 11 more times?
Is Skyrim impossible to beat? I feel like they just keep
Kinda.
adding
You
stuff
can beat
to
the
it.
main story, but like there's so many fucking quests, it would take you hundreds of hours to get it.
Every time I start the game, I'm like, I'm gonna be a mage. I want to be a mage. I'm gonna be a mage. And then like 10 minutes go by, and I like, fuck that. So, but then I keep restarting it because because it's boring. You sit there and you're like, he puts his hands out. It's like,
Are you kidding? I loved having like fire in one hand and ice in the other, and like blowing it on them. And
Nah, man, that's good.
they're like, okay. Well, I'm still playing Animal Crossing. I can't stop playing it. I can't stop playing Animal Crossing. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. Like, I only play it for like an hour and a half every morning, and it's just like,
That's how they get you.
no, it's just like I want to find all the fossils. I want to like
But why?
because
Why
I'm
do you
feeling,
want to find?
I'm
those?
feeling.
Death happens in the Animal Crossing world?
Tell me
Yeah,
why.
like every morning you see like these little X marks on the ground. You dig it, and then there's like a fossil. You go to the museum, and they're like, "Oh, this is a raptor skeleton.
Oh yeah.
You can either donate it to the museum or you can take
That
it
was in
back.
Pokemon too.
Yeah, and they did it in
Yeah.
Pokemon sometimes. I like that you did that.
But you
in
bring them
Pokemon,
back
but
to
you would,
life.
You would revive them and turn them into. I remember you did that with what's the T-Rex one? From
Yeah,
XY?
there's a pterodactyl one too. I forgot what they're called. It was just dinosaurs.
They all look like Pokemans to me.
But the thing is I'm really far into it. I paid off all the loans in my
They're
house.
disgusting.
I've planted multiple different fruit trees, so I've got plenty of fruits growing in the city. I finally got the coffee shop. I put it right at the bottom, so it's like spreading out the architecture.
I'm gonna somehow mod your game with the game Plague Inc. And I'm gonna set Lewis to play called Toe Jam Hot Stuff, and it's
Stop.
gonna ravage your Animal Crossing villagers.
That's disgusting.
And it's gonna be great.
You're gross.
I want you to see them burn.
But what else? There's it's just weird that the more I play it, there's more stuff in it for me to do. There's more things. You're nodding your head, but it's so addictive. It's so addictive. It's just like every day to like collect all the cash and then like buy stuff and then you get like make every room in your house like have a theme. Like, ooh, I'm gonna put all the fish I caught in here.
I feel like I used to play stuff like that, and then I just feel like I don't have the attention span anymore.
The thing is, I never thought it was for me. And then I like played it because I was like, okay, I have this on my 3DS. I might as well just get it over with. I thought I was gonna play it for like 2 days and just be like, okay, I get it, but this isn't for me. And then boy, did I bet on the wrong horse. That fucking thing is dictating every day of my life. I love it though. But I'm also like knocking down every game I have on my PS Vita. Because I just want to finish, like...
So wait, you said that there were, like, you played, what, 5 games?
I played, like, a handful of games.
And you didn't like any of them,
So let me
right?
give context. I've had a PS Vita for, I think, 2 years now, and haven't played it until this month. Because
Jesus.
I got it, like, on discount. Like, I think on Black Friday 2 years ago. It was, like, when they packaged in Borderlands 2 with it. But I never redeemed the code, and I already played Borderlands, so I had no reason to play it again on Vita. So I just bought it because I was like, oh, I might want to play this. And because I've had PS Plus the last couple of years, I've downloaded all the good games on the system for free. So I have like Gravity Rush, Uncharted, Persona. What else? I have Chrono Trigger. I have.
I almost went out and bought one because of PS I Love You. They would always talk about it.
I bought the PSP Go when that came out.
Okay, so what is a PSP Go?
It's basically, just imagine this, the T-Mobile Sidekick. You guys remember that?
Yeah. That's the one that flips up.
It's
right?
literally.
Oh my god!
It's literally
What?
just a
No.
PlayStation with the flip screen.
Yeah.
But why?
And you can download things directly from the PlayStation Store.
Ew.
It's weird.
It was cool because they ported a bunch of PS1 classics onto it.
Okay, that's cool. But
So I was playing like Silent Hill 1 and Metal Gear
Okay.
Solid 1.
oh, that's really fucking.
And,
cool.
then
And that
they
was cool.
abandoned it
They
completely.
abandoned it completely, but that was cool. Like when it came out, it wasn't the PSP games that were cool. It was the PS1 games you could buy.
Ah, I see.
But aside, that's sad though. Like a new system is only cool
Yeah.
because you could play
You can
and
do
on the
this-
go.
You can do the same thing with the Vita, but you can't. There are only so many games that are on PS3 that are cross-buy. Like,
Yeah.
I could download PlayStation All Stars, but I have no interest in playing it.
That game when I saw the
It's
trailers
not
for
bad.
it looked cool because it was like I can be in a fighting game and play as Big Daddy from BioShock.
It
It's
plays,
awesome.
it's
I'm
a
thinking-
less tight Super Smash.
I'm thinking of just downloading it just to play with it for a bit.
It's a cool roster of
yeah,
characters.
it is. But what rubbed me the wrong way, but when they were leading up to the release, is like how many of the characters were third party. Because Smash Bros. Only had third parties in the third game.
And they were
Yeah.
exclusive. Oh, not to console. I mean, they were.
Well,
sorry, I'm mixing it up with Soul Calibur.
But they were, yeah. But even then, like Soul Calibur had like a handful of installments before like Yoda and Darth Vader showed up,
That's the only Soul Calibur I've played.
Spawn was in the second one.
and so was
That
Link in the
cool.
GameCube version.
Yeah, and you had Heihachi on the PS. You know, you can download it now on PS4, I think, and you can have all three. No, well, not Link, but you can have Heihachi and Spawn on it,
Oh, that's fucking
That's actually
cool.
pretty cool.
and it's worth the buy because it's like $15.
They should scrap that vampire game and make Spawn.
I still don't know what this vampire game is.
It looked like.
Is it the one where they put a Y instead of the I?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an RPG or not. I don't think it is. It looked like kind of a little open world with like RPG style combat and then dialogue choices, but I don't know if there's like skill trees.
You ever
or
play the
anything.
old Spawn game from like 2005?
There's a Spawn game?
Yeah, on GameCube.
What if I told you there was a Matrix game?
I actually used to love that game. You play as Niobe and Ghost.
I love looking into
It's bullet time.
all
It's
the
so much
video game,
fun.
all the movie game adaptations that you either forgot exist or didn't know existed.
That was actually a decent one, though. I mean, it's not now. If I played it, I'd probably be like, "Wow, this sucks." But back then, I loved it.
But getting back to the PS Vita thing, so I started playing Fez. I'd never played Fez.
I heard good things about Fez.
Yeah,
It's
actually.
really cool because it's like it's a platformer, but you change the perspective. And changing the perspective, like, so everything, let me put it this way. Imagine like you have like a cube and you're only seeing one side of the cube at one time, but you're keep turning it to either solve puzzles or to get like to solve
Jesus
to like
Christ.
capture something. It's super complicated to pitch, but you just have to see it in motion. You're like, oh, I get it. It's fun, but the UI and the map is such garbage. After about an hour and a half of playing it, I had no idea where I was, and I had no idea how to get back to the beginning. I was like, this is way too intense. Then I downloaded some garbage game called Ninja Dengeki or something like that.
That sounds vaguely
Like,
familiar.
I forget what it's called, but it was like...
Ninja Gaiden?
No, Ninja... Trust me.
Those are good. Those are actually
Ninja
good.
Gaiden, I'd be happy to play
They
Ninja
kind of
Gaiden.
remind me of Metal Gear Solid in little ways. It's just a weird
Did
statement.
like the visual style.
The style and some
No,
of the
I'd
fighting
say like
mechanics.
I'd say the tones. Like, it's super over the top.
Yeah.
Kind of, no, not all of Metal Gear Solid, just for Vengeance when you play as Raiden. is what I'm
Revengeance,
thinking.
for
Oh,
sure.
yeah. That's true. But, yeah, it was just another side-scrolling, pixelated game, and it was just like, I've seen this before, and this game is awful. And then I started another game called Murasama Rebirth. Again, all these games I got for PS Plus, I had no interest in playing them. I was like,
I've never heard of
I'm just gonna play it and see
Is
if I
that one
like
of
it.
those like anime type of
Absolutely. It's like I'm a samurai girl, and I'm capturing souls in the
games?
woods.
It's turn based.
No, it's like an action game.
Oh, really?
It was such. Again, it's such a waste of a console.
I just don't like handhelds as much because they just don't. My type of games don't work.
The thing is that
With the control scheme.
like the thing that's so hard to do with handhelds is to just get everything right. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's what the Nintendo Switch is doing is that they have the games and the controller. And my biggest beef with my 3DS, even though I love the games, is that there's no right thumbstick.
Yeah.
And then they added one, like, we made a new 3DS, but they added, like, this small little nipple in the corner of the right side of the console, and you don't even, like, turn it like a regular joystick or like something like that. It's literally stays in motion. It's static. It's just that you have to press really hard on it, and it registers as you moving the camera.
I don't like that at all.
No, I
So
don't
they
like
made
it either.
Pressure sensitive.
Yeah, like, you know how you play Super Smash Brothers and the C stick on the GameCube controller is like, it'll do a side A thing.
Mhm.
So that's the same thing on the 3DS version of Smash Bros. So
Okay.
it's like that, and some games you would move the camera. But it's just such garbage. And the PS Vita, playing it, I actually enjoy holding the PS Vita a lot more than 3DS. But the games just are not there. And there are only like 5 games there. And the
It's
one
like
game...
PSVR. There's only 3 games that are good.
I swear, I'm going to be really
Final
upset.
Fantasy Fishing.
I'm
Yeah.
really going to be upset if Sony just abandons PSVR.
I don't think they will because they pushed it at E3.
Yeah, but
a lot.
Well, we'll get there, but man,
It's getting Skyrim for the 8th time.
I know, right?
Wow. That game needs to go away. It's making me not. I love Skyrim.
but hey, they added Amiibo.
No one cares. There are mods for that.
I can use my Cubby
You know,
Amiibo.
there's some guy, I don't remember his name, modded one of the temples. I think it was from maybe Majora's Mask into Skyrim, and at the end of it, you get the Master Sword.
Oh, that's fucking
But it's a
cool.
mod, so like, why the fuck do I need to go buy an amiibo and be like, oh my god, I can wear Link clothes? Like, no one cares. Make a new game. It came out 2013,
2011.
11.
20.
Yeah, that's
I remember
right. It's
this.
6 years
I
old.
remember this because it came out on September 11th, 2011. 11/11/11.
That's unfortunate. But actually, my classes started 9/11.
Wow,
So that should tell
way
you
to
all
bring
you need to
down
know
the
about
mood.
my year.
Way to bring down the mood.
No, but like it's been 6 years, and all we got was
cringy.
all we got was Fallout 4, which it was fine. It was just basically Fallout 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted something from Todd Howard, and he wasn't even there. So
I feel like Bethesda just...
Wait, you were hoping for him to like sit down on the couch with you?
I really wanted him to play that pirate game.
Sea
Not
Thieves.
that
Skull
one.
and Bones.
That one.
Dude, Bethesda literally, I swear they didn't even make a first Fallout and second Fallout. They just made Fallout 3, Skyrim, and they just re-released both as much as they possibly can.
Wait, is Sea of Thieves the shitty one for kids?
There's one that has amazing water
Which one's the
effects.
Ubisoft one? Skull and Bones?
Skull and Bones.
They're all the same.
But we'll get there. But I want to tell you guys about the one game I'm finally actually enjoying on my PlayStation Vita.
Yes.
And that was awesome. I'm complimenting you. Ben,
I just zoned out.
have you heard?
I was thinking
Zach,
about.
have you heard
temperature in here.
of a game
It's kind of hot.
called?
No, I know.
Have you heard of a game
No!
I'm sweating in places I didn't know I could sweat in. It's awful.
called Freedom Wars?
Yeah, it sounds
That could be
familiar.
taken so many ways. And
Okay,
I'm not gonna take
imagine
that.
this. Imagine if
Dude.
the very core concept of the Suicide Squad, which is bad people.
All right, bye.
Hey, you get your ass back here. Okay, Zach. Imagine if the concept of Suicide Squad, the bad people, or in this world as they're called sinners.
Shawshank Redemption.
Not quite. They get captured, and they have to like. Why does it sounds like such a struggle for you to get a.
I was looking for water. I didn't see water. I was looking for fluids. I saw beer, and I was like, I can't drink beer. Thought of Gatorade. But it was in one of those things that the seagulls get stuck around their faces, and I was like, oh, I need to take it out.
I feel like I'm talking to 3 different people, just looking at one person.
Oh, you are.
So imagine if in Suicide Squad, like imagine if the concept of Suicide Squad, where you get bad people, you capture them, and to make them sort of like reduce their sentence, you make them do good things. Imagine if that was an anime. That's Freedom.
That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting.
But what's cool is that it
You find everything to be disgusting these days.
it understands what a good handheld game is, like just for purely a handheld console, which is like you play it in short spurts. So you play it. It kind of reminds me of Metal Gear Peace Walker, where every mission in a game is just a mission. Like it's not one continuous story mode like the rest of the series, but it's like you play every chapter individually, and it's sort of like Phantom Pain too. But it's again like Peace Walker was on.
That was another thing. I tried playing Phantom Pain again, and it made me do the intro, and it took a fucking hour, and I was like, and goodbye.
I remember not to spoil the game, but
it's been like what, 2 years now?
Less than, but I'm not gonna spoil it because it's one of my favorite games of this generation. So I feel guilty if you haven't played it. But I remember when you have to play that section again.
Yeah.
I was so irritated.
I know.
Because it was like I
had
had just gotten so far into like being the best Snake ever. Just like understanding the gameplay so well, like being the boss.
And it's not even like they cut out parts, you know.
No,
like
just going back to.
It's like there's a movie flashback, and they cut out or when they show the same part of a movie twice.
You know what it's
they
like?
shorten it.
It's
they don't
like,
do that.
It's like when you're watching a movie in the theaters and the projector goes out and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry, just give us 10 minutes and we're gonna restart the movie." But then they like rewind a half an hour back, and you're like watching the worst part of the part of the movie again. Now, granted, that section was cool, but anyways,
the first time.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe not the fourth time.
Yeah.
How many times does it make you repeat the same?
Twice, but I think I beat it twice too. I don't know why. Why did I do that?
I think I played the mission again just to like get all the side ops off because I 100% of the game, which I'm proud of.
Oh yeah, you can't beat the game without completing all of the bullshit side mission, like go blow up tanks.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to. It's just that you only get 100% if you do that. But like some of the side ops you have to do to just unlock the next story mission.
Ugh.
Yeah, and you don't have to 100% them, but that part was
fuck you, Konami.
So Freedom Wars,
I couldn't agree more.
It's fuck them. Anyways, so Freedom Wars is interesting because you play it in like short 30 to 40 minute spurts, and it's kind of like Attack on Titan meets Suicide Squad, where the concept of Suicide Squad is like the action of Attack on Titan,
be kind of cool,
where you're all these anime people, and for every person has what's called an accessory, which is like a robot person that follows you around and like revives you, or like it's basically the totalitarian government's way of like watching you, but it also fights with you. So you're fighting all these giant robots. Now,
We're going to
granted,
fight the government.
to be honest, I haven't been paying attention to the story very much. I'm just really enjoying playing it because it's really fun. And I don't know. Other than that, I only have like 4 games to knock off the PS Vita. It's such a waste of a console. Because had they launched that earlier with PlayStation 3, and sort of like you can play your games anywhere on the go.
Yeah, well, the
Or,
PSP was still around then, right?
I don't know. I thought
think it was.
I thought
Yeah,
they
During
stopped.
PS3?
I thought they stopped making games for PSP like the first 2 years after
Maybe.
the PS3.
They brought it back though.
They just put out a lot of shooters on PSP, and I just the controls don't work.
You know what's
It's like playing an iPhone shooter. I can't do it.
You know what's funny? They stopped making games for the 360, PS3, PSP, but the Wii is still getting games.
I know, that's insane. Well, because it's like
Just Dance is coming to the Wii.
that pisses me off. Well, I mean,
I feel
whatever.
like
I
Nintendo-
feel like it
yeah.
should be on the Wii actually instead
Yeah.
of.
How do you
other-
play Just Dance on a 360? Because don't you need like the?
I think you need the
whole-
Connect.
Connect.
Shouldn't Connect.
How on the PlayStation though?
They had PlayStation
The
Move.
Eye
Oh yeah, you're right.
that no one has.
Yeah, can I just say this? Nintendo seems to be the only game company that's actually confident in their consoles. Like, they actually will keep a console going for years, whereas literally it's been a
Sometimes
year,
it's when they shouldn't.
and Xbox One X is a thing.
But they do know when to drop out because they dropped out.
Yeah,
of
with the Wii U. Yeah, exactly.
But okay, so anyways,
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Wii U.
yeah,
But
but
that tells you all you need to know.
yeah, it's easy to forget it, but I have it there collecting dust.
They had that
I've-
one rated M game that everyone was like, "There's a rated M game on Nintendo console," and it was like Zombie Wii U.
It was
awful.
the Ubisoft game, and I heard it was just awful, and I had no interest in playing it because it felt like. But anyways, I don't want to get into a tangent. But the point is E3 was last week, and all the news came out, and I just wanted to review every announcement with you,
Do it.
and I want to just hear your thoughts, and we shall see.
So okay, remember I sent you guys the picture of Drake Bell, and he tweeted, he's like, "When you're not invited to the wedding, the message is clear."
Oh,
Because
they photoshopped that on the.
Josh Peck didn't invite him to his wedding, so they did one of Mario, and it's Mario, Bowser, and Peach dressed in white. And
Those
it's,
are
it's
my God.
Luigi's tweet.
Those are all the amiibo.
It's incredible.
All right. Anyways, so
I love that so much.
I'm going to basically go from the very beginning, which was EA's conference, to the end, which is
God.
Ew.
What was that guy's
yeah.
name? Jesse. Fuck. What's his name?
He actually released a video recently where he was like, "Guys, I got really
fucked up.
yeah."
no, didn't. Oh yeah, we're talking about the digital influencer person.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like, what up, guys?
Yeah, he said that he.
Didn't he said the teleprompter like?
Yeah, he's
Okay,
like, I'm
so
Jesse
he sounded
Owens,
it,
and he
yeah.
just stops, and everyone's like, yeah, and he's just like,
Do you remember when they showed the trailer for like the 2 sports commentators and the music was so fucking out of place?
yeah.
Or it was like you were just coming off a cruise ship into Honolulu.
There's the Djibouti dubs for E3 that came out today.
Oh my god, we have to watch that. Anyways,
It's fantastic.
so the first thing that came out in the entirety of E3, I know this is the thing we were waiting for the most. Madden is getting story mode.
no.
What do you think about this?
Well,
Because
they got
Mahershala Ali,
yeah, that guy.
Marshmallow.
I don't
Ali.
know his name. I forget his name, but so the thing was like, I feel like the Madden. I don't know about NHL, but Madden and 2K are really similar in story modes. And I played the 2K one, and I think that one was directed. It was 2K17. It was done by Spike Lee,
Huh.
and it's really cheesy.
Well,
And I
it's
feel like this
Spike
one's
Lee.
gonna be the same. It's like, young man coming up from the streets gonna be playing that basketball hippity shooty hoops, and it's like,
Jesus
but
Christ.
that's not why people play sports. No, but that's not why people play sports games. Like, they play it because, like, for the career mode. They don't care about the plot.
Right.
Like, why are they adding a plot with actors? Like, they need to just have you kind of like UFC or like the boxing games. Like,
Right.
make your own character and like play with your favorite teams. Like, no one cares about story.
I agree with you. I think you're totally right.
It's not what
The
it's
stories
about.
look almost ridiculous when you're looking at it.
It's so cheesy.
No, I don't have I agree with you. I don't think they look good, but I appreciate the inclusion. Like, I think it's cool that they're at least trying to like innovate these sports franchises where like they're yearly installments and they're trying to do something cool.
Because they're
something
all.
new.
I mean, the only thing that changes year to year is just player stats
Right.
for the most part.
Yeah, and it's basically more or less the same game, and the mechanics don't change too much. Maybe the graphics are improved, but I like the idea of
I
them.
don't think FIFA has a plot.
No, the FIFA was the first one to have a plot.
Did they drop it with the newest ones though? I can't remember.
So no, the FIFA 18 does have another plot.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Do you have to play it now?
I actually enjoy FIFA. That's like the one sports game. That and NHL are actually pretty solid games.
Ew, sports game.
I used to play not NFL. There's this game Blitz on the GameCube. That was like the most brutal football game ever. Like when you tackle people and stuff, it would go like X-ray mode, and like their bones would break and shit. Like
I remember this.
It's like Sniper Elite meets football, and I actually really enjoyed that game because it was so arcadey.
Next up, Battlefield 1 DLC. So apparently, the one where it was the Tsar one, I forget what it was called.
Yeah.
In the Name of the Tsar, I think it was called. Yeah, that's exactly what it's called. Apparently, that's the second of 4 expansions. For
so the first one added the French army, and I don't have the season pass for Battlefield 1.
I don't either.
I stopped playing Battlefield 1 just because I got tired of just round-based multiplayer. Like, it's a good game.
I think it's a great game, but my Xbox Live right now, so I can't play multiplayer now.
Yeah, I didn't really care. Do they usually announce DLC at E3?
Not
I don't
on
remember
stage,
that being a
unless
thing.
it's something as huge as what they're making this Battlefield expansion to be.
But like so it looked to me like it was just like the French one, where it's just some guns and maps.
Yeah, it looked like Battlefield.
So why are they announcing, like Bethesda did it too? Why are we announcing DLC on stage at an E3 conference?
I don't know, because I think at that point, if you're just announcing DLC and you don't have a lot of other games to show, that's
just cut your conference.
Yeah,
short.
just evidence that you don't have a lot to show.
But that's okay. Just cut your conference short.
I agree.
It's quality.
I think honestly, like EA should have just like included the DLC stuff with like the streaming thing they did, because they would stream Battlefront after the conference.
Yeah,
that was when they showed like all the multiplayer shit.
I'm not saying it looks bad. Like I'm not gonna buy the season pass.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't think showing DLC is the place. Like E3 is the place for that.
The only EA game that I genuinely would consider actually buying,
the prison one, right?
is Away Out.
Good segue, because that's the next thing we're going to talk about. That game is.
Fantastic.
Have you guys played Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons?
No, I haven't
Briefly.
actually.
I highly recommend it. I'm sure you can get it on discount. It's only a couple hours. It's one of the.
I think it's $10.
It's one of the better indie games to come out in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's basically.
I've heard good stuff about it.
Basically, if you don't know already, the concept is that you're playing two brothers, and that you control each one with the other analog stick, and you use that to solve puzzles.
But that's not split screen. Wait, so is it a one person?
No, it's a one-person game.
So there's no
co-op. It's a single player game,
Gotcha.
but you're controlling two characters at the same time.
Okay.
And it's not only a really creative puzzle game, but it actually is a very, very impressive story. And that's what makes me excited about A Way Out. Not just the fact that it's a co-op only game that's
and it's
encouraging.
Split screen only.
It's a co-op split screen game.
So if you're playing online, it's also split screen.
And even the creator encouraged it's best playing on couch co-op, which is so very few.
Very
few games do that.
From a game design perspective, I can't figure out how one character is in a cutscene and the other character can be moving in the background.
It's fucking cool.
I can't figure. I have an idea of how it's done. Like you must hit like an invisible checkpoint line, like a tripwire, and it forces you into a fixed camera.
If it was a tripwire, there'd be an explosion.
With a claymore, yeah, okay. And it forces you to a fixed camera, but I can't figure out how they do that. It's almost like the Max Payne multiplayer, Max Payne 3,
right, yeah.
How they had bullet time online.
That was
I couldn't figure out how that worked.
When I was playing multiplayer on Max Payne, the other players would move faster than they would in the campaign, but bullet time still worked, which was really cool. So yeah,
I just can't figure it out.
I agree. It's so cool, and I'm keeping my expectations low because there's so many games where they should advertise something so cool and it just doesn't work.
I just love Prison Break. Yeah, the show. So this.
Yeah, I was gonna say A Way Out seems to me to be that game that you were described earlier with the two brothers, either mixed with Prison Break or just given a Naughty Dog
Yeah,
vibe.
I can't figure out how it's gonna end though, because it looks like a lot of the footage was after they left the prison. Yeah. So
I think they showed too much, but I don't know how long the story is.
What if it was just a plot to Prison Break, like every season of Prison Break in one game?
But you have to break out of prison.
But what's the replay value? Can you break out in a different way? Like if you break out following the same steps every time.
Oh, then that'll
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know how they're gonna add like replayability to that.
I don't know. I wonder if the story is dynamic or if it's fixed.
I don't know. I feel like if they want it to depend on who you're playing with.
Yeah, I think what the selling point is that you get to play it with someone,
Yeah.
and there's like
They bring back couch co-op.
yeah, and there's like a story you share with someone else, and I don't know. It seems very innovative, and
It didn't look like a $60 game.
but that's
So
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
curious about. If it's a full
I feel like
retail
it might
game.
be 40, and then that would make sense. If they announce it's $40, then we know.
If it's not a full retail price game, then that's totally understandable. But if this game isn't like 15 plus hours long, then
Yeah.
it should not be $60. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's EA. We'll see what they do.
They'll probably charge
We've seen
60.
funnier things, that they've pulled off. Speaking of funny things, we've got the Fast and the Furious, or other known as, Need for Speed
There's
Payback.
literally nothing to say about Need for Speed. You said it. Fast
just-
and the Furious.
yeah.
Like, we're good.
But like, I was kind of okay with that because I had Need for Speed Rivals that came out. Like, I think it's now
A million times better
2
than
games
Forza.
ago?
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Forza's just
I
it's
played
just
Forza,
a simulation.
Yeah, I played Forza 3, and even though
It's
it
boring.
controls very well, I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything.
Yeah, well, it's basically you can't. I remember playing. I think it was Forza 3. It's almost impossible to overtake anybody. Like I was stuck in the same position for the entire race, and I was like, I can't do this.
And then Anthem got revealed, but we didn't see any gameplay then.
Yeah,
We
I
just
mean,
saw a trailer.
That's
It
an
looked really cool.
exclusive, so I'm not as. I don't really care about that one because I.
And then we
PS4.
saw NBA Live. That also has a story mode. I like that.
It looks solid.
I like that they're
mean,
doubling down with the
yeah.
story modes in sport games. Battlefront 2 DLC. This was huge.
So-
no paid DLC.
That's
for the season pass.
It's huge for 2017, but back in the day, it's called
It's-
updates.
It's a sad state of the industry that it is huge when it shouldn't be, but it
Uh-huh.
is huge, especially for EA. Because
But I like that they said we fucked up
yeah,
and we added what we should have.
but there are microtransactions, but they're apparently all cosmetic. So
But that's okay. I'm okay with that.
yeah, that's the one thing that doesn't bug me.
It's like people were pissed off when they added microtransactions to the Modern Warfare remastered, and I was playing online that actually earlier, and I don't really care. The depot is just skins for the most part, so it didn't really bother me that much.
You guys gonna buy Battlefront 2? I think I might.
I'm gonna wait and see.
I want to hear if they fuck it up again, because
Yeah.
I really don't want them to, because this looks like the Star Wars game that we should have got last time.
I've just been burned on pre-orders so much.
I haven't pre-ordered a game since Phantom Pain.
Really, I
Yeah.
fell into the trap, the No Man's Sky trap. I fell into the Mafia 3
Oh,
trap.
they keep getting you.
So I'm not pre-ordering anything
Yeah,
anymore.
pre-ordering is like, I don't know, locking content behind pre-ordering, especially having multiple different things for multiple different retailers. It's just gotten very tacky,
Yeah,
and it's, I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me.
and most of my games are digital, which I never thought I would do. So there's no point in they're never going to run out of digital games.
I think what you can do is you can pre-order on the shop, and it'll like pre-download it.
Yeah, so so I did that with No Man's Sky, and it just sat. Jesus Christ! It just sat there with like a timer. And the game is so small. It's like 6 gigs, so there's no point.
Now, this wasn't at a conference, but Kingdom Hearts 3 had another trailer.
Yeah, I saw.
Did you
that.
see it? Have you guys played Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
Only the second one.
Yeah.
That's the one everyone's played.
Yeah.
I played Kingdom Hearts 2, and I think I played...
They're really fun, is what I remember about them.
It's like a...
Never took them seriously, though. They were
It's like the
Yeah.
weirdest crossover.
I'm afraid
But it
that they're
works.
gonna.
Yeah, it
I'm
does.
afraid they're gonna add more Final Fantasy to this one, and I'd rather just have Disney, because I think when you have like the Troy Baker looking anime people next to Mickey Mouse, it's kind of strange.
I don't know. It was... I mean, like, they had you fight Cloud Strife in the other games. I'm expecting
true.
I'm expecting, like, cameos from Lightning and
Well,
other
that I'd
people.
be cool with. I just hope they don't make it like a Final Fantasy story where it makes no sense.
No, I think, like, the main conflict is, like, the original characters. I forget. Like, like, Star Wars and Lord of the Rings have weird-ass names. Kingdom Hearts is
Yeah.
maybe the most complicated storyline ever.
Well, and there's there's 15 games.
His name
Or
is...
not.
I just remember it.
Final Fantasy.
I just remember the bad guy's name. It's Xehanort.
Jesus Christ.
It sounds like a really bad name a bully uses to make fun of you.
They
in
just combined
junior
the
high.
word zebra and snort.
You snort zebras, boy.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Thanks for your contribution, Zach.
I'm just segueing it to the next thing.
No, we already talked about it.
I thought we were just talking about Battlefield, not Battlefront 2.
No, they sound so similar.
Where have you
talking
been, boy?
Are you gonna buy Battlefront 2?
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, I thought this was Battlefield. I feel like such a moron now.
We have Battlefield 1, we're gonna have Battlefield 2.
The heat is getting to you,
Yeah.
Honestly, it kind of is.
Fuck this heat.
I know, it kind of totally is. I'm starting to, like, lose my concentration and just focus on the sweat, I feel.
Ew.
But Battlefront and Battlefield,
Just
okay.
letting it pool in my grundle.
God.
Alright, I'm gonna get a drink.
I have no interest in Battlefield, even though I know it's a great game.
Yeah.
As for it's one of those games where I know if I bought it, I'd stop playing it after 2 days.
I'm kind of the
yeah.
same. I'm kind of in your camp.
Yeah, like I know it's a great
Even
game.
though it's very cinematic, and I enjoyed 3 and Battlefield.
I'm not a
3
war
and 4.
guy.
Yeah, I'm just sick of the round-based multiplayer.
Yeah. So as for Star Wars Battlefront,
Oh, the dogs. They have something to say about Battlefront.
yeah, I would say that.
Fuck the Tsar!
Fuck Xehanort!
Communism!
Rocco!
I do like.
What were you gonna say about Battlefront?
Honestly, it's one of those games where it's fun. It was cool watching the trailer and seeing all the new features. It looks fun,
Yeah.
but I don't want to buy it.
Yeah. I'd buy it at discount.
Yeah, that's fair.
But not even $20. Like I'd wait until it's $10.
Yeah. What worlds do you hope they add to Kingdom Hearts? Because everyone's like because Disney has Star Wars and Marvel, they want them to add them.
Well, they do Stark Industries and Tron, even though it's not related, but
They did
Tron.
They
Stark
did
Industries.
Stark.
I thought they did
They did
Stark.
Tron and Tron Legacy.
Well, I think they said in the future in one of the games, maybe this is a past game, maybe it's the
Oh,
current. They're
yeah.
gonna do Stark.
No, they didn't do that.
Oh well, they're totally gonna do Stark Industries of all the places.
Well,
I mean,
I think that would be a shoo-in. If anything, like just the Avengers stuff. I don't know about Spider-Man because I feel like the rights.
they're not gonna do
They're
Spider-Man, but I think they're gonna do
Insomniac's
Avengers and they're
Yeah.
gonna do Star Wars.
They might do
doubt it.
Guardians, though. I was thinking, what if...
Guardians.
That would be a great.
I was going to
that would
say,
actually
what if
be a
they
very
did
good idea.
Ego's Planet?
That would
That
work.
would be,
That could be
would
kind of
actually
cool.
work. I think whatchamacallit. I can't remember what. Oh yeah, it was the Hercules world. They showed off the new, not the new.
That would be cool.
How much can dogs bark?
I don't know.
He's still angry about communism.
He's still angry about Xehanort, about that being like the worst name for a
Zebra
character.
Snort.
Anyways, so yeah, so any worlds that you want added to Kingdom Hearts?
The Hercules one would be actually really cool.
Well, that's a shoo-in because I feel like Hercules has been in basically every single one. Jesus Christ, that dog.
They were let outside even though they should have been kept inside so we
Yeah.
could record.
It's okay. I like the Tarzan stuff.
Can you go take the dogs in?
I like the Tarzan stuff from the second game. I'd be okay with more of that. Shut the fuck.
I almost sprayed my laptop with Gatorade. I hope you know that.
It's okay.
Now I remember what it was. It was not Stark Industries. It was Big Hero 6. That's what it was.
Ew.
They're
Disgusting.
they're adding Big Hero 6. That was what they announced last year at what was it, Tokyo Game Show? I think so, something like that.
That's actually disgusting.
You know what would be really cool though? The Hades area of the Hercules, the animated movie.
Oh, that reminds me. You really should rewatch that trailer and just like pay attention to the Japanese voice of Hades.
I don't think I remember what it was. Is it rough?
It's rough.
Oh, God.
It's I think really no. It's not high pitched. It's a Japanese person doing an impression of James Woods,
That's
who was
disgusting.
Hades.
Yeah.
And it sounds so surreal.
Oh, no.
It sounds like James Woods speaking Japanese. It's really
I don't
fucking
like
surreal.
that. Oh man.
All right, until Zach gets back, I want to ask you a question. What did you think the Scorpio was going to be called? Because I
really thought it would be called the Scorpion.
Did you really?
I thought they would stick with it.
I mean, it's a cool name, but I feel like the code names are always cooler than the actual name they put on market.
It's just like usually once the code name is revealed, they really quickly are like, it's not called that, it's called this.
Yeah.
And then this time they didn't.
I remember the Wii U was called Project Cafe. Nintendo
Okay.
Switch was NX.
But I think they named it 1X because with the Xbox One, people call it Xbone. So
Yeah.
now with the 1X, it's just Xbox.
And then
No, seriously, when you abbreviate it,
No,
I think
it's true.
That's just what it is.
What you doing in my seat, boy?
Sitting my butt cheeks in it.
Zach, what did you think the Xbox One Scorpio was going to be called before it was revealed to be the Xbox One X?
Xbox 2.
That's what I thought. I thought that was an obvious one, but apparently
Okay,
it's
Microsoft
not.
isn't smart enough to do that.
Well, apparently they have a
apparently
thing for
it's-
zodiac signs. What? It's true.
No, I mean I never thought of it that way.
Xbox Pisces.
You know what's sad is they're gonna do that.
Probably.
I never considered that the Scorpio wasn't going to be considered just another extension.
Why
of the
didn't they
Xbox
call?
One.
Why didn't they call that feature where you could play like old Xbox games with fucking Gemini? Because you can play your new ones and the other ones. And it's like two
You're
different
disgusting.
personalities.
Okay. Anyways, so the
This is the
Xbox.
kind of shit that they need to commit to.
That's
I'm
why
sure they have someone working on it right now.
Hey, settle down, boy.
The guy at Microsoft's like,
Yeah, I heard Gemini. So,
They got microphones in our.
but
cell
actually,
phones
that
are listening to
the
us.
backwards compatibility thing. My brother tried playing Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
Red Dead Revolver.
Not that one.
Red Dead Redemption's the second one, but Red
Okay.
Dead Revolver is the first.
Suck my left elbow, boy.
Ew.
He tried
It's such
play-
a weird visual.
He tried playing the Red Dead Redemption made by Rockstar.
Rockstar made
That was-
Red
no,
Dead
I've
Redemption.
never-
they
I've never-
finished it. I
I've
think.
never heard it presented that way. Red Dead Redemption made by Rockstar.
Whatever. He tried playing Red Dead Redemption on PS Now.
Grand Theft
or
Auto
whatever.
made by
Not
EA.
PS Now. Is it PS Now?
PS now.
Can you imagine if
That's the
EA made
streaming
Grand
one.
Theft Auto and how awful it would be?
That would just be AIDS. But
It would just be Need
but wait,
for
here's the
Speed.
thing.
I
With,
wouldn't like
PS
it.
Now, with PS Now, so you know how there's no start button on the PS4 controller?
Right.
It's options.
Yeah.
They didn't map a start button to anything.
Wait, isn't it the touchpad?
Yeah, but it didn't work.
Ew.
For
What
any
do you mean there's
game.
no start button?
He
So
tried,
can you start the game?
He tried
Nope.
10. No, he tried 10 different games.
Then what am I paying for?
He tried 10 different games, and he couldn't get past the start screen because they forgot to map the start button to the touchpad.
So you're telling me?
Oh my God.
So if you pay for PS Now, you probably won't be able to play anything if it needs a start button.
Well, then I think in that regard, Sony does need some catching
Most
up to
games though are like press X to start.
He tried.
do.
He tried
true.
Red
What
Dead.
year is it?
He tried both Sniper Elites 2 and 3. He tried Red Dead Undead Nightmare.
Huh.
They were all press start to.
Wow.
I mean,
You know?
Sniper Elite, all of those games are all shit anyway, so it's probably trying to protect him.
It's murder porn basically.
Undead Nightmare was like, I didn't
I
mind it,
enjoyed
but I
it.
didn't get its existence. Like, it didn't need to exist.
I watched my brother
It
play
was
it,
just-
and he was like, "Look, I'm riding a unicorn that's on fire." I was like, "I thought you were a cowboy in this game. What's happened?" Anyways, so the Xbox One X, that's the name. It's apparently the most powerful console ever.
Boo!
I'm not an Xbox
But I don't
fan.
care. I don't care.
I'm not gonna buy it, but I'm still impressed.
If you already have
I
an
think
Xbox
it's-
One, why buy a whole new
Well, that's the
console for
thing.
like $500?
Of the three of us, I have an Xbox One.
Yep.
And this conference, even though it was a fine conference, it did nothing to persuade me to get an Xbox
I have an
One.
Xbox One. I just I never use it because I like PlayStation 4 better.
I use my Xbox One X mostly for like streaming stuff. Like I watch Netflix and
Yeah,
YouTube on
okay.
it because I just think it works better on there. I don't know why. Can you check that? And anyways,
Sorry, buddy.
oh boy. So yeah, Xbox One X was announced, and then we got a whole new look at the upcoming Forza Motorsport 7. And Forza Motorsport 7,
No,
I
one
don't
cares.
care
No one
about.
cares.
I must confess.
I was more impressed with the car they brought on stage than the actual game.
They did that last year too.
They do that every year.
I don't know why they do that.
And then they kept saying, here is the new 911, 911, 911.
Yeah, that made me feel uncomfortable.
4K, 4K, 911 in 4K.
I feel like I'm being brainwashed or something.
911. That was the whole concert.
Then the next thing we
Conference.
got was the official announcement of Assassin's Creed Origins.
Woo!
I know you're a big fan of Assassin's
Woo!
Creed.
Actually, I was playing Unity for like the third time. It's kind of boring.
For the third time? And now you're thinking it's boring?
Yeah.
Dude, I thought Assassin's Creed 3 was boring. It took
Oh,
me...
that game was boring as shit. But
dude, it took
I told
me...
you they're guilty pleasure games.
I know, but there was... I can't remember the part of the story because the story was so forgettable.
In 3.
3. But I stopped playing, and it took me like 9 months to remind myself that, oh
Was
wait...
it the hour-long intro, or that's
No, I was
3
like-
hour long
I was
intro?
like- a third of the way into the game.
Okay.
I was like, I had already been trained by the guy with the cane.
Yeah.
And I had already met my father. And
To be honest, I only remember the beginning and the end of that story. I don't remember anything in the middle.
I just remember them killing Desmond for no reason.
Yeah, I think Nolan North just didn't want to do it anymore.
I can't imagine why.
He was bad in those games too, and I love Nolan North, but
What'd you say?
I don't. I love Nolan North, but he sounds like he's just done. What's her name? Kristen Bell?
Kristen Bell
Is Lucy in the first 17 games.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you know that she's married to
Dax Shepard?
Dax.
That's disgusting.
That makes
Kristen
me so
Bell?
is married to Dax Shepard.
Yeah, I know.
It makes me so mad.
But okay, Origins.
Why can't I be married to? Oh,
I liked. So the traversal looked a lot like Unity, which I was okay with. I actually watched the extended demo that they did with Ash, the creative director, and some guy named like Peter or something.
Right.
Some bald guy.
I love how the one time we have this room where like the one time where it should be quiet.
It's
not. Always quiet. It's not.
It's our first podcast,
It's okay.
so quite frankly, it's expected for it to be a little bumpy.
Yeah, I liked everything but the combat.
We actually got locked out. Like,
I'm okay with that.
like I had to like kick the door a million times until somebody was like, "Oh,
Oh, good. Then
you're here."
smooth sailing from here on out. So yeah, we're talking about Assassin's Creed.
I
And
liked,
I
liked
think-
everything. The combat didn't look weighty enough. if
This
that
is my
makes
take on
sense.
Assassin's Creed. It's
I-
just like same game, but hey, combat looks cool and it's an ancient Egypt.
I've never been a fan.
They got
of,
rid of the
Yeah.
future stuff though.
I've never been
That
a
makes a
fan of
big
the
difference.
combat of Assassin's Creed though.
They added boss battles.
They didn't have boss battles before.
Nope. They added boss battles.
Boy, oh boy.
Well, no. Here's the thing. They're going full.
Oh boy.
They're going full Egypt, so they're like embracing like the weird. you ever see-
Emotive.
Well, did you ever see like the Prince of Egypt movie?
Is Moses gonna be in it?
No, but you know like this,
No, yeah.
how
Prince
they
of-
have like the mystical people, you know, that like
You mean
Magi.
pray to the different
No,
gods.
It's
no,
always the
no,
Magi.
No, you
He's
play
talking
as a
about he's
Magi.
talking about Steve Martin and Martin Short's characters,
Yeah.
the magicians.
The magician guys.
You're
They-
playing
they-
with the big boys now.
It sounds like they
That's all.
play. It sounds, God damn it. It
It's
sounds
a,
like
it's
they.
a fine song, but saying it as a sentence is just so boring.
It sounds like they're.
No, playing with
Oh God, no!
Get right.
It sounds like they're
what is it?
embracing
Playing with
the magic.
You
guys are
Don't do that.
disgusting.
Don't do that with your hands.
You guys
when
are
sing.
That's what he does. He goes
Disgusting.
playing with, and then the snake.
Why are we
and then
still
the
on this?
snake. Prince of Egypt
You brought it up.
is a good movie.
I was
It is
trying
a
to
good
compare it, so they're really like pumping up, or
You need
like
to put it on Blu-ray.
they're.
It's on
God
Netflix.
damn it!
It's on Netflix in HD.
Fat Man Mask of the Phantasm
They're,
is coming on
they're
Blu-ray.
emphasizing the magic. There's a whole side quest system. It's gonna be like, it's literally gonna be Witcher 3 meets Assassin's Creed, which
Which is
I'm
cool.
okay with.
Which is, I mean,
I like those things, so I clap.
There you go.
that was basically everyone in most of the conference, and most of the audiences at E3.
I recognize this thing, so I'm gonna cheer.
Sony and Nintendo.
Forza!
Sony and
9/11.
No, don't do that.
Sony and Nintendo killed it, and then you have EA and Bethesda, where you were like,
Oh.
why?
Bethesda's was the worst.
I wouldn't say
conference.
they killed it, but we'll get there. But anyways,
Bethesda Land.
that was
Here's
weird.
all this stuff we've seen before.
I get so
Why?
Metro Exodus was next.
Looked awesome.
I enjoyed the first two.
It just looks good, but I have nothing to say about it aside from looks cool.
I'm
Pick it
worried
up.
though because there's that behind the scenes stuff with the author.
Right, where he thought that
Video games were like ruining Metro.
No, that was the Witcher author, and then the one who was from Metro said that was
I thought it was the other way around.
Oh, 'cause
no,
they're
it
based
was
on-
Really?
the Witcher author was like the.
Oh, so they're based
it's-
on books, the games.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Witcher and Metro are based on. Yeah, they're based on books. Witcher is from Poland and
Yeah,
Metro is
Metro's
from Russia.
Russia.
Yeah. So yeah, it looked cool. Then you were excited for this because I never heard of this, but Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah, I haven't actually played it because it's only on PC, but now they're only bringing it to fucking Xbox, so I won't be able to play it there
Yeah.
either. But
I didn't understand it, like why people were so excited.
it's so the concept is so Player Unknown was on. I think he was on like the DayZ dev team. He was on like a bigger dev team,
about it. Okay.
and he basically fit. I think he was the one. I could be completely wrong, but I think he's the one that fixed DayZ. And so basically, he had like a falling out and he left. And he made his own thing. And so
Daisy.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is basically Hunger Games, kind of. But so it's all online, and you start out with like 100 players, and as more and more people die, back up. 100 players, you're dropped into a map, and you're basically naked, like in your underwear.
Ooh la la.
And you have to like scavenge underwear. Yes.
You mentioned genitalia, and my memory is clear.
My interest is peaked.
But underwear covers genitalia, though it isn't genitalia.
You just like the bulge.
Oh God.
It sounds interesting, but
So they're dropping.
It looks interesting, but it looks frustrating.
It's like it starts out as a survival game, so you're dropped into the world, and you have to find weapons and gear and armor. And basically, the reason I like it is because it uses fear in a good way, in a really interesting way. So you're not gonna want to run around and like shoot people because you can die in like 4 hits. So you want to kind of find cover and like pray that no one is gonna enter like the little house that you're in.
Did you say Prey? You mean the best video
Fuck
game?
that game.
Anyways.
And then so basically as more people die, this like giant blue wall of energy like constricts and it pushes people towards the center. And so once it gets down to the last like 8 people, they're like restricted to like this really close quarters. And
That's
really
actually
tense.
really cool.
So it's interesting. It's different.
I'll have to look into that. That sounds cool.
State of Decay 2.
State of Decay 2.
I didn't like
Disgusting.
The
It
first one.
literally looks like they took Sims gameplay.
That's a very strange way to
Left
pronounce
4
Days
Dead.
Gone. they're basically the same game.
Shut up.
What were you gonna say? State of
I like that one.
Literally, State of Decay is if you took Left 4 Dead and swapped out the first-person shooter gameplay for Sims 4 gameplay.
So you give birth to a baby while on fire, and then the Grim Reaper comes, and then offers
Wow,
you a
that's
piece
really
of cake.
specific, but yes. It's just bad.
Jesus.
I didn't like the first one. I really
It
didn't.
really looks awful.
I'm not a fan of State of Decay.
Everything about it screams no. You know what I mean?
Even the zombies.
No, they do.
No.
This next announcement's really pissed me off.
Super Luckiest Tale. I
I
thought that was Conquer
me
when
too.
it first came on the
And
screen.
it's through the entirety of watching that trailer, it just pissed me off.
Well, because Conquer, they threw him in, what was that called? Microsoft? Or
Project
Spark, yeah.
And then they shut it down.
Yeah, so I
Don't
thought
fight
they
it.
were going to, like, redeem Conquer, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Foxy the AIDS Squirrel.
Foxy the AIDS Squirrel.
You know what I
Wow.
mean?
The only, I'm looking at other games on the list
It's
here
a
because I
platform.
don't want to talk about this particular game. I just don't. It's just, it's
But no,
just
what is
no.
it? What is it?
Sea of Thieves, not interested remotely. Crackdown 3, Terry Crews is great in the
Okay,
commercial,
can we talk
but it
about that?
looks bland.
Crackdown 3 is
Looks
a game
like
all
Crackdown
about
1.
destruction. We're just not talking about Sea of Thieves.
It's
because-
basically Hulk Ultimate Destruction, but with Terry
Sea
Crews.
of Thieves is basically if Roblox Online
Roblox.
merged with like Lego's asshole and then became a pirate game.
Yum.
Whoa!
Not for me. I'm more interested in the Skull and Bones, but we'll get there. Yeah, Crackdown 3 is a game all about destruction, and they didn't show any like destruction in the trailer.
Yeah, I saw an article. It was like the directors talking about citywide destruction, and I didn't click on it because I just don't give a shit. 'Cause it looks like Crackdown 1. Even visually, it looked disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't.
A lot of
Try
it
anything.
disgust and going
Yeah,
around.
I thought it was an Old Spice commercial when it first came on.
That would be interesting. To
Here
watch.
I am in a game. Here I am on a boat. Here I am.
In Crackdown 3. Yeah, it was very underwhelming, actually. I was honestly expecting a better, visual.
It
but-
looked last gen almost.
It did. It looked
It
like a
did.
PS2 game.
Yeah.
Actually, last one's
That's
PS3.
2 gens ago.
That's 2 gens. It's even worse.
Speaking of PS2 games, Dragon Ball Fighters.
Okay, so
Fighters
here's the
Z.
thing.
How do you
That looked interesting.
Here's
I'm
the
not
thing,
gonna.
though.
I will never buy
Wait,
it.
guys. The cinematic looked great, but
Yeah.
when they actually revealed gameplay,
Yeah.
it looked nothing, not even close to the cinematic. So what I will say though is it actually looks more fun, and this is coming from a Marvel fan and not a Dragon Ball Z fan.
Well, that's like comparing apples to unicorns. But
No, but it'll make sense once I explain it.
Oh, okay,
Marvel
okay.
vs. Capcom Infinite versus
Oh,
Dragon Ball
okay,
Fighter
okay.
Z.
That was
As a
rough.
Marvel fan, Dragon
Infinite.
Ball Fighter Z looks like a far better game as a whole than Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
I didn't enjoy that. I played the demo.
It bothered me because a lot of crucial characters that were like the reason why you bought the game in the first place
Oh, they took them
are
out.
missing.
Wolverine, Spider-Man, Venom, Magneto.
Without those characters, it's almost like no point. in playing.
I didn't see M. Bison. Where's M. Bison?
You can play as
Where's Cammy?
And
you can play Midget King Arthur.
And you have Chris Redfield instead of Jill or like Nemesis
I know.
or Wesker.
Yeah.
And
It's
Leon
like, come
hasn't
on.
been in any of them either, which is kind of.
Chris is like the
annoying.
worst, most bland character. In
He's
the
not
whole
even
Resident Evil
voiced
series.
by what's his name?
Matthew Miller or something?
No,
Matthew
it's
Mercer's
the
Leon.
Matthew Mercer.
the Ezio guy.
Oh,
He voiced Sonic.
Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah, he's not even voiced.
yeah,
by
he
Roger
voices.
Craig
yeah.
He voiced Batman in Arkham Origins too.
Yeah.
Smith. Yeah.
Then, if you guys played Life is Strange,
I
I've never
haven't-
played it, but if somebody tried pitching it to me like 2 days ago, and it's made it sound really cool.
I have the first one sitting on my PS4, and I don't want to play it because it just basically what it sounds like to me is just angsty teens traveling in time with sad indie music. And then
So
you make
Amazing
a
Spider-Man with time travel.
yeah, and then you have to make a
Spider-Verse.
decision at the end that is basically like Mass Effect 3.
Even better, Perks of Being a Wallflower. but with
Yeah,
time
it's
travel.
Perks of Being a Wallflower the game, but with
meets the time traveler's wife.
ew
Oh god.
meets
We're ruining
Big
like.
Hero
I
6.
feel like when they were making it, they just watched Donnie Darko and watched like 500 Days of Summer and Perks of Being a Wallflower and Amazing Spider-Man. They were like, we know what we have to do now.
So apparently Ori.
And the Will of the Wisp.
It looks cool, but it looks
Apparently
like
the
they're-
first game
yeah.
was like one of the most beautiful games ever released.
Yeah.
And I don't remember ever hearing of
It was an
Yeah.
Xbox One exclusive.
Okay.
That's why.
it. I mean, the art style was
It
beautiful.
looks very Miyazaki-esque to me.
a little bit, yeah. It reminds me of I don't know why, but I just every time I look at Ori and like either of these games, I think of Disney's Tarzan.
I
Anyways,
think you're just colorblind.
maybe. What else? Xbox One X then had the price revealed, which was $500.
Way too expensive.
Whoa!
They have to though. For something that has liquid cooling, it has to be that price. Like it's reasonable, but I don't want to spend that kind of money.
Ironically enough, the highlight of the entire conference was when they announced that original Xbox games were
Yeah.
backwards
Oh,
compatible.
without a fucking
Like
doubt.
you saw that the crowd was more excited
Oh, dude.
I
about
know.
that announcement than any
Because
of the
that was the
names.
only thing that people had been asking for.
Well,
For years.
I think
Yeah.
it's pretty groundbreaking. You have a console that plays all the games from the entirety of
Yeah.
that brand of console, and
Sony
I'm sure
needs
they'll
to-
they'll branch out. But
It's
some,
almost frustrating. They never considered doing it earlier.
I know.
But
Sony needs
it's
to
pretty
catch
crazy
up. I don't know what they're doing.
well, they have they
PS Now doesn't work. Like,
they
need to
acquired
stop.
that Gaikai streaming company,
and it doesn't work because they're the ones that host PS Now.
And I'm
I imagine your friend staring at the start menu and just crying.
It was my
Yeah.
brother, so I hear from upstairs. What the fuck? There's no start button. And I was like, oh my god! And he had to
Jeez.
move. He had to move his PS4 downstairs next to the
Ew.
router because that's how bad the connection was.
The last thing that come from this conference was the gameplay for Anthem, which looked cool. It's like Destiny meets Mass Effect.
Again, it's
which makes
another-
sense.
It's
It's
another-
the Division meets Destiny meets Jetpacks.
Yeah, it's
meets
another-
sci-fi.
Yeah, it's another one of those games where you look at it, all you have to say in response is, cool.
Yeah,
It's
just like okay.
like I've
So
seen-
this is why Andromeda suck balls.
it looks cool.
So
I don't
neat.
know.
It looks fine. Like I'm not. I've seen the stuff before, but
They hired the same voice actors that Ubisoft did for Destiny when they during the Division one when they're
I mean
like
Peter Dinklage.
when they're like, oh my god, I got Terra's Guns Revenge, and it's like, and then there's like the other three guys come up and there's like, oh hey Chris, he's like oh hey Jill, and he's like, I'm in a drone, and it's like I was like, why are these people?
Wow, I couldn't
Fucking
follow
weird.
any of that.
Yeah, that was
Sony.
like 40.
Okay,
minutes.
when the squad people show up and they try to act like normal humans, and they're just
Oh,
like.
okay.
And then she picks up the gun. She's like, "I got Jera's wrath." Wow! Like,
Sony.
they need to stop.
I'm done with Microsoft. Sony, Nintendo.
Well, and sorry, buddy, you're gonna have to wait because next up we
Bethesda,
got
right?
Bethesda.
Okay, Bethesda's
There's
is an
two.
extra
There
one
are
out of
only
mind.
2 announcements from that actually matter.
There were a couple, but none of them were truly.
We can literally cover the Bethesda
DLC,
announcements in 2 minutes.
DLC. Remember Skyrim?
Evil
Here's-
Within 2.
Here's a card game.
There you go.
Doom and Fallout 4 coming to VR.
I don't care.
Okay, well, there you go.
I mean,
It's just fine.
which one?
That's
Fine.
what the whole
Which one
conference
is
felt.
okay? Here's a question.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a very morbid question, and I probably shouldn't ask it. But which one is gonna kill someone first?
Doom. That's gonna be
Doom
the most.
without a
That's
doubt.
gonna be, you know how fast you move in that game? That's gonna be the most disorienting experience of
People
all
are
time.
gonna have. You're gonna literally see
There were
projectile
literally
vomit
people-
coming out of
I just like the idea
Like, that's
of
VR.
someone playing Doom in VR, and like you hear like someone just hears that person from the other side of the house just go. "Ah! It's just like having a heart attack.
Literally, that game.
You know what's scary is that somebody so dedicated that even while they're vomiting, they still want to kill some demons.
That game is gonna make men
This
go
is
into
what I found
labor.
funny about Doom, especially the third one or just the whole series. It's like usually when you go to Mars, you fight aliens. Why
Yeah.
are there demons on Mars?
Because plot.
Maybe they're alien demons.
Then Skyrim again is coming to Switch.
No one cares. I actually do like that they're supporting Switch.
I think it's
It's super cool.
of the re-releases of Skyrim. This is the one that appeals to me the most.
Oh, I agree.
It's
the coolest
the
one by
sixth
far.
re-release of Skyrim. Now.
Like, yeah, there's
I think they're
been
finally figuring out the whole re-release thing.
It took them like fuck you. It took them 6 years, and they have the regular edition, the Legacy edition, the Special edition, the VR edition, the Switch edition. It's like, come on, just stop.
At what point are they gonna
The
announce
remastered edition with mods on PS4? Wow!
At what point are they gonna announce new games and then just
Never.
then just ship you Skyrim in secret? And you can
Remember
It's
this?
just like, well, I guess I'm playing Skyrim again.
Imagine if they pretended they were making a whole new Elder Scrolls game and it was literally just a re-release of Skyrim. You opened it up and
Again.
But there's a watermark on the screen in the center that just says "fuck you" the entire game you're playing.
It's just Todd Howard's anus.
Then
Ew.
Okay, that's not a Dishonored spin-off game. That's a DLC.
no, I thought it was a spin-off, but then it
It's
was
not a standalone.
it's DLC. Then
Ew.
Well, no,
Then
because
only-
the Dishonored 1 had great DLC that had their own stories.
Then they announced the Legend of Zelda Elder Scrolls card game, whatever it was. I don't know what just happened.
What was it? Elder Scrolls Legacy, Skyrim?
Elder Scrolls Legend of Zelda.
Sure.
That makes me want to.
I don't enjoy digital card games anyways, so I don't really care.
And then
I just don't get digital
then
card
there
games.
was
Eh.
the Elder Scrolls Online Shadow of Mordor or whatever it was.
Oh, that bullshit? The
Morrowind.
Moro skin? Foreskins?
More foreskin.
Potato skins? Yeah, but we already knew that. That
This is a
wasn't-
fucking sports bar.
That
Potato
was...
skins.
that was...
Foreskins.
Okay, but
Yeah.
I don't know what sports bar you're going to.
Yeah.
There's foreskin on the menu.
You know,
but...
There may be one person in the sports bar who isn't
There's not
circumcised.
one-
You don't know unless you do.
Yeah, unless you check.
But the Elder Scrolls, the ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, Morrowind came out 2 weeks or a week, at least a week before the conference. So that wasn't news to anyone.
Evil Within 2.
Evil Within 2.
That looked
You
great.
were happy about that?
I
You were
was so
about that?
happy.
I
Oh,
haven't-
I'm so pumped. For
I
it.
haven't played it, and I was happy about it because I was like, "Good, we need more horror games."
It's on sale right now.
More than
with
just
the
horror
DLC.
games, Resident Evil 4 style horror
Yeah.
games
Yeah.
are a must. Because the only other series that's really done it is Dead Space.
And they
Oh,
abandoned that with the third one.
Well, the third one was a huge
Oh.
disappointment.
They had a
but the
DLC before that was great though.
Yeah. The second one is one of my favorite horror games ever. I love that game.
I think
so much.
Yeah.
here's the thing. I think the second one is like objectively the best game, but personally, I think the first one is the scariest.
It is the scariest.
well, EA bought either the rights or the publisher after
No,
the
EA
first
published
one.
the first one. You're thinking Mass Effect.
Plus, the guy who
Am I?
wrote 30
Yeah.
Days a Night.
EA
Then they just
Yeah.
stepped in
no,
after the first one.
BioWare made Mass Effect. Then EA purchased
Okay.
BioWare.
Then I think
Yeah,
it
that's what
was
happened.
with the Dead Space developers. They were like, "Do whatever you want," and then it
That
got
was when
popular,
EA
and then
was.
they're like,
that's
"We're
when
gonna tell you."
You
what
know,
to
something
do.
that came
that's
out
when they
of
were taking more chances.
you know how
Yeah.
they do a lot of comics based on games, and usually they suck like 90% of the
I
time.
actually
they're
read the
awful.
Dead Space.
I saw the
They were
animated.
really
I
good.
watched- Did you watch the animated movie?
I don't.
No, I haven't.
It's actually really, really entertaining.
Huh.
I believe you. 30 Days a Night team did the Dead Space comic,
That
and
makes
it was
sense.
and it was perfect.
It was good. I actually really.
Was
it
it
was
enjoyed
30
creepy.
Days of Night directed by Sam Raimi or?
No, if it was directed by Sam Raimi, it would be a much better movie.
Ram
Oh
Sammy.
no, I think I'm dragging it.
Sammy
I'm
sounds
thinking
like
of,
a porn star.
I'm thinking
My name's Ram Sammy.
Ew.
Gordon Ramsay, Ram Sammy
All right.
instead.
I'm changing the subject. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus.
It
I'm
looks balls crazy.
It
Balls
looks
crazy.
it
That's all I have to say.
It looks balls crazy.
It looks good, but it looks a lot.
I meant to say balls to the wall, but then I accidentally said balls
That's
deep.
disgusting. It looks a lot like the New Order, though. Like it looks like it plays exactly like the New Order.
Yeah,
But
but
we haven't seen enough, so
I think
can't say for sure.
The one thing that bugged me about the first one was that it was held back graphically because they released on 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, does this game look awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it visually is
The
beautiful.
KKK people with Nazis in the 60s in America.
Oh, they're mixed my three favorite things. Next.
But my only complaint is they have the one black lady with an afro that's been in 4 other games.
Yeah,
this
I
year.
saw that meme too, which is fucking weird as hell that's sort of like the new
I don't know
trend
where
in video
that
games.
became a thing. It's weird.
And then we got the Ubisoft conference, which I know.
I thought they redeemed themselves a little bit.
I
a little bit.
think the Ubisoft conference might have been the best one of the ones we
What
had.
did Ubisoft?
They started off with Rabbids, remember?
Yeah.
Which looked a lot better than I thought it would.
It has no right to be as good as it looked.
Yeah.
No, because the rabbits or whatever, the rabbids, whatever you want to call them,
It's a turn based though, which I
they
didn't expect.
literally are their version of the minions. Like too
I
much
was
of them.
thinking
I
that
don't
too.
want any more. No,
They
no.
came first though.
But if there's
to be
anything that
fair.
would make these things appealing to me, it's this. Like it to me, I look at it as a Mario game. I'm glad like it's not called Rabbids Mario.
Yeah.
Like it's Mario first, which is cool. Like it's a Mario game first, and it's just the Rabbids are in the world of Mario, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So it's a
Rabbids is
Mario
such
game
stupid
first.
name.
It is a very well. It'd be weird if they were like turtles and they were so.
Imagine if
rabbits.
Mario got rabies from the rabbits.
Maybe that's why they're called rabbits. They're
They have
they're
rabies.
they're rabbits with rabies.
Yeah, but
Now we're just
rabbits
Okay.
can have rabies, but we call them rabbits, not rabbits.
You're gross. It looked better than I didn't know what this would be.
I can't tell if you're serious.
But
I'm
they
kidding.
merged. Honestly, they merged the art styles of both
I think I think it
like,
looks fine.
perfectly.
Yeah, I think honestly, like,
I'm not gonna get it, but like
When I-
honestly, it looked a lot
when I
better
eventually
than I
I
get
thought.
really feel like I'm in a sauna. This
But
is too
yeah,
real
when
right
I
now.
eventually get a Nintendo Switch, I think I might actually pick that up on discount because it looks interesting. I just wonder if there's.
I got food for you, boys.
Oh boy. Well, we'll
Pizza.
eat. Oh, I thought it was like you just looked at me and you're like, oh, I'm hungry. You got food. No,
I thought the Crew 2 looked better.
we'll finish this up soon.
Ben,
and
whenever
we'll
I look
go-
at you, it makes me want to eat the crust off the pizza and not the
The
rest of the
crust
pizza.
too.
Ew.
I'm making a new driving game called the Crust
The
2.
best compliment.
I know.
Yeah, that looked interesting. Then we got South Park, which looked the same.
It looked, yeah.
More
I mean,
South Park is
it
more
looked like
South
the
Park.
show.
Yeah, it's more. You can't get.
It's more the same.
It's more the same.
I wanted Matt
It's a
and
good
Trey
thing.
to come on stage, but they weren't there.
They did it before. I don't think that you'd get them again, unfortunately.
Skull and Bones looked interesting.
It did, and I like that they. I wish more studios would look at their games and be like, "This was a cool thing in this
Yeah.
one game. Let's turn this into its own."
I think it's a very innovative title. Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of.
I've
story
never
in that.
heard of a pirate ever being associated with the phrase "Skull and Bones." I feel like this is breaking new ground.
Shut up. They're adding the Kraken.
In fact, I've never even seen a pirate before this game.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. This was the one that surprised me the most of this conference. The Starlink thing, which
The
is
graphics were such balls.
well,
though.
I think it's the style. Less, it's not trying to. Look
It looked like an
realistic.
iPhone game.
Yeah, but
iPhone balls.
it's
I
again.
didn't really
I think
understand. I guess maybe it's because I didn't understand what
It's
what
the
they were
visual
doing.
style. Like I don't think it's they were trying to shoot for
no.
realism. Like I think it's like as realistic looking as Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I guess so.
So
Yeah, but Kingdom Hearts is like.
very anime.
Yeah, whereas.
But like I mean, in terms of just like the way people visually look.
They probably are
Just-
just putting more money into making sure that the
Yeah,
figures work, and they were just kind of like
and of
It'll
all
look
the
fun.
figure games that exist, there's Skylanders. There's
Skylanders.
yes. There's Lego Dimensions. There's
this looked. It looked interesting.
Disney Infinity. This was the one that appealed to me the most
Yeah.
because it wasn't based off of something else. As far as I know, I don't think it's based on.
I don't
anything
think
else.
so.
And it appealed to me because the idea of just like
It's seamless. It looked seamless.
just creating your own spaceship and I don't know. Again, it seems like a game that's made perfectly for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
The
The South Park mobile game was.
that was interesting.
Fine, I
I don't
guess.
have to pay for another mobile game. No.
Yeah.
You got me with a Super Mario Run.
Far Cry 5.
Looked the same, but
I was gonna say it looked,
again, more of a good thing is fine.
it looked like the gameplay looked exactly like Far Cry
Yeah.
3 and
And
4.
it's visually the same.
But
too.
they're adding stuff that I thought was better. Like
To
you
be
can order
honest,
teammates around.
I've never been a huge fan of the.
They're adding
storytelling of Far
RPG
Cry.
stuff. Like the character, you're not playing as an established character. You build your own.
Mhm. I guess, but I feel like the biggest draw for this franchise, at least starting
Was
with
the
Far Cry
villain-
3,
it's the villain.
was the villains and the storytelling. And I've never, like, I thought Voss was a cool villain,
I loved
but I
him.
never was, like, really impressed by the overall story. And I even played,
Oh, yeah.
I played Blood Dragon. I thought it was funny. But
You played for Voss. That was
I played for Voss.
And then
I played
killed
for Michael Bean when I played for Blood Dragon, and then I played for Troy Baker when I played for
Yeah.
Warcraft 4.
Listen, gameplay is great. Voice acting is great. Story is always meh.
Yeah, it's a fun game to play, but I feel like the world doesn't really pull me in.
Now
This
you get
one
to,
might.
You
This
get to
one might.
smoke meth with bikers and go on mission quests.
This one might, because I like the idea of being stuck in a fictional town that's
As a cop, you play the cop.
interesting, and
A deputy.
you're basically surrounded by like these insane cultists.
Again,
I like
black girl with the afro makes a return.
another one.
She looks like a badass though, but they need to pick a different character model.
And then Beyond Good and 2.
There's no
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
gameplay for that, right?
Because apparently it hadn't started development yet. They were just announcing that yes, this game exists. This is what
the trailer was insane.
It
like
sounds
I didn't understand.
like a rap album.
Beyond
Good and Evil 2.
That's what.
Isn't there
Eminem?
a rap? Yeah, there's literally a rap group called
Eminem
like
and
Beyond Good and
Royce.
Evil or something.
No, it's
No,
Eminem
no,
and
Bad
Royce.
Meets
Bad
Evil.
Meets Evil.
Yeah.
No, the Black Eyed Peas.
Ew.
Um,
With Fargo.
They are Beyond Good and Evil.
No, they didn't
They're
announce
just trash.
Can we
They
just,
didn't
can we
announce
just
it.
talk about the
Yeah,
$800?
They didn't announce that at the conference, but we should talk about
The
that.
$800
I like
Assassin's
that.
Creed
We need to
Origins
say that
thing.
we need to say that about like studios we don't like. Is like they're beyond good and evil. They're just garbage. I like that.
They're just
That
balls.
I don't understand. Fucking Ubisoft.
The $800
They're
thing?
fucking collector's
It's
edition.
a li-
Splinter Cell's future.
They're not going to
Who
release
cares?
another. I love Splinter Cell.
It's done.
Suck
It's
my
done.
anus.
Okay.
Why would it be? Oh, okay. If they do it again, they need Michael Irons.
You have Metal Gear Solid. You don't need Splinter
Not
Cell.
anymore. Okay, you Metal Gear Survive. I'm gonna shoot
God,
zombies.
it's disgusting.
It's not
Okay,
the same.
And now that we're done with that, let's go to Sony. They started off with Uncharted.
Sony's
Is
by
it a
far my
DLC
favorite
or
series.
is it a new game?
It's a new game, but I don't think
There's
a,
no Drake in it though. I don't think.
no. I think it's a prequel.
It's Nadine and it has to be because
And
it's
Chloe.
Nadine and
Chloe.
Chloe. Yeah.
Then
They
Horizon
should-
Zero
they should
Dawn
do a-
DLC.
They should do a skin where you can play as the rapper Drake.
Okay,
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Horizon Zero Dawn DLC.
I feel like I didn't like that game as much as I wanted to. It's still great.
It looks
but
amazing, but it doesn't grab me.
Yeah, I think that's what I felt too.
Mhm.
And I actually am on the last mission of the entire story, and I just haven't finished it because I don't care.
Get you.
Which is weird.
I
I
haven't
never
picked
did
it up
that.
yet. I'm still busy like catching up on my back catalog of games.
Honestly,
Took me
it's
a long
good.
time to
It's a
play.
good game.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
And then I could care less. about
Days Gone.
Why? You're the only person.
Zombie bears.
You're the only person I know who's like
That's
excited
okay.
about
Did you
It
this
looks
game.
fun. I actually
Did you
like
watch
the way it looks.
the demo of like the same mission, but it was different because of the weather? It was just snowy.
I think the way.
Shut up!
the way-
Shut up!
the
Don't
way,
say it.
The way it sounds in your head, it sounds like there's this groundbreaking, but the way I'm hearing it,
It's
like,
different because snow.
When I put snow on the zombies. They put snow on the zombies.
No, it actually the weather changes like the entire mission structure,
Whoa!
which isn't anything new, but they did it well.
How did it change? I
So-
didn't see this.
In the one that they showed during the conference, like you're riding down the street and you get hit by the rope, and then you have to fight those two other survivors.
Right.
So this time, you're driving and the snow. Apparently, they made it so the snow dampens all the sound. So he kind of stops a little bit, and you can hear them set up the
Whoa.
rope. And so he
Oh, shit.
he dispatches those two guys. He continues on, and apparently the zombies are called freakers, and they get angrier during snow because reasons.
Freakers makes me think streakers.
Yeah, and so
And then now I want to go outside and streak naked.
I'd be okay with that.
Monster Hunter World. Now this one.
Let's just move on. Then.
Yeah,
Toby doesn't care.
I'm sorry. I really could give a shit about Days.
There's a
Gone.
bird.
I feel that way about Monster Hunter World though, where it looks fun, but like that's it.
I tried playing Monster Hunter 3.
I don't think I've ever played a Monster Hunter game.
on the Wii U, and I don't think when I played it then I understood what the concept was. The idea is that fighting and taking down a monster
It just
takes
looks like Devil
like
May
an hour.
Cry, but even more anime-y.
No, you can't get more anime than Devil May Cry. Is your garage leaking?
No, I think people are outside using the hose.
Lovely. Anyways,
Good. I
Um,
like a good hose.
But this one sort of rubbed people the wrong way on one side, and then the other side got people really excited because Monster Hunter has been traditionally a Nintendo franchise, and
That's why I was surprised.
this game is not coming to any Nintendo console. But
That's kinda
there
weird.
is a new Monster Hunter game coming to 3DS and Switch. Here's the caveat, though: the Switch version is not being localized anywhere outside of Japan.
That's weird.
That's really.
I wasn't impressed with the graphics though of the Monster Hunter world.
It looks meh.
It looks fine.
It looks meh.
It looks fun.
It looks like a late PS3 360.
Yeah.
It looks like it shouldn't be on a Sony console.
If it's
very
fun, though,
Nintendo.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. It looks
But that's
graphically.
I'm okay with that though.
Yeah, like graphically, it looks like it can the Switch
Because
can handle.
as Mario games go, the particular stylized look that it has works for Mario because that's just I don't know how to explain it, but it captures the cartooniness of Mario, the wackiness. It just works for Mario. Whereas at Monster Hunter,
It looks very
Well,
Japanese.
it's not necessarily
right.
cartoony. It's like it's trying to look realistic, but it comes off more cartoony than it wants to be.
Well, because you're fighting dinosaurs and shit.
Well, yeah, that's hard
well,
to.
Mario looks great though. It is cartoony looking, but that doesn't mean it doesn't look good.
Oh
like,
no,
those visuals are
absolutely.
great.
It depends on when you have a vision and how well you execute.
And I'm
Yeah.
saying it works really well with Mario, but with Monster Hunter, it doesn't work as well.
Well, again, they're two very different styles, but I think what you're
Sure.
saying is that Mario has its own style,
Right.
and it pulls it off very well, and Monster Hunter has its own style, and it doesn't.
It looked
Okay,
it looked
sure, yeah.
Japanese. That's just
Yeah.
what I felt.
Then here was my favorite
Shadow
announcement of this
Colossus.
entire conference. One of my favorite games, Shadow of the Colossus, is getting
It looked
a
fantastic.
remake, not a remaster.
Yeah.
This is a from the ground up remake,
It
and
looked
they didn't announce
fantastic.
this at the conference, but they are fixing the controls. If you play,
It's
Thank God.
amazing.
Thank
It's one of
God.
those games that actually made E3 like going through a lot of these terrible game announcements.
Yeah.
Worth it.
like honestly, when the title came up and the theme song started to play a bit, like I actually started to get a little
What's
emotional.
really
'cause it was
weird,
like,
though-
man, it's happening.
It's weird though because everyone was like, "I didn't see it coming," but before the conference, I watched GameSpot's stream, and one of their commentators was like, "Yeah, man, I'd like really love if they did a Shadow of the Colossus remake. Like that'd be cool." And I kind of had it in my head, and when it came up, I was like, "Holy shit!" Like I
Yeah.
actually predicted
That mofo called it.
It's one of those games where I'm immediately gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy
Done
this
deal.
Yeah.
day one. Something that I didn't actually know until this was announced is that apparently there were a lot of colossi that were axed from the original game.
I don't think
And
because they
people-
couldn't handle.
Well, there are 16 colossi in the game,
they had like what 30,
40 something.
yeah.
and that would be crazy
If
because
they
that would be
added
like
more.
take a 20-hour game to like 100 hours.
Yeah, I just don't
Right.
think the PS2 could have.
No, that's why I think,
It
quite
would be
frankly, it would be pretty cool if they added some of
Yeah.
those colossi.
I
But
feel like
don't
they're
know.
gonna keep it how it was, but I would
I
like.
mean,
them
I'm
to.
fine with that. I think fixing the controls enough does it for me.
Yeah.
Because they have not aged well. What else? Skyrim VR got announced.
Whatever.
I mean, that's the best thing that ever happened
Yeah.
to me. I don't know about you. Skyrim VR, I basically was born for
God.
that announcement.
So now
Fuck
you
it.
can just fuck naked lizards with your mods in VR.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great.
Uh, then we got the story trailer for Marvel vs.
I
Capcom.
played the
Infinite.
demo and it was not good.
I'm disappointed because I loved the second and third games
Yeah.
of the whole series.
Well,
And
the story's fine. It's just
the game,
eh,
yeah. And the other thing is the rosters in the past two games.
the balancing.
Well, they've
is
never been
so
very. Yeah, but the
bad.
balancing has never been good. It's
mean,
known for that.
It's hard to beat the roster of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And
Agreed.
3 was really great, though.
No, but I feel like they did a great job of capturing basically all the favorite characters from both Marvel and Capcom.
Yeah.
And I feel like 2 and 3 did that, even though Venom
Yeah.
should have been in the third one. That was definitely something that I missed.
Yeah.
But I feel like with this one, you can really feel the Marvel Sony licensing argument or whatever's happening between the two. Definitely,
Well, that and
looming
the
over
Fox
this
stuff.
game.
Because there's no
Yeah.
X-Men, no Spider-Man, and there's barely any Capcom characters.
Yeah, you feel it looming over to the point where
King Arthur's
It's
in it. Midget
bothersome.
King Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
from was
Day
it
one
Ghosts and
purchase.
Goblins. It just bugs me because I feel like all the best Marvel characters are the ones that Sony and Fox own
Yeah.
almost. To the point where those are the characters that get me excited, like Spider-Man and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Those are like the two characters where I'm always hyped to see them.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're not in this game,
Well, it's just not.
Deadpool 2, makes me not want to get it almost.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just it didn't play like the short characters, like the small, like Rocket and Midget King Arthur.
Yeah.
Their attacks don't land because they're so small. So I would just end up switching to like Thor, and just beating the shit out of someone with a hammer. Dante was actually my favorite character to play as.
That makes sense.
Yeah, he's a really fluid character.
Yeah, they added Infinity Stones, which I couldn't figure out what they did. Like the power one, you start glowing purple, and then they're like Infinity Gem, blah, 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 and that was it. And then the time one, they kind of dash a little bit, and I don't know. The story one. It's not like the Mortal Kombat story where you're fighting other characters. In the chunk that I played, you're just fighting faceless Ultron robots. So I was like, okay, whatever. I don't really care.
Final Fantasy 15 fishing.
No.
Fuck.
Call of Duty World War II. How do you guys feel about that? Because now we got a World War I shooter and a World War II shooter.
Well, there's controversy about World War II because apparently the campaign is gonna be like no holds barred, like concentration camps, Nazis, like it's gonna be brutal.
I think if it's handled respectfully, I don't think.
Well, the controversy is that none of that's in the multiplayer. Like the swastikas are not in any of the maps. There's like you can play as female soldiers, which is fine. It's just not historically. Like the multiplayer is just not.
I feel like you
accurate.
get the historical accuracy for the story. Multiplayer,
Which I was fine with.
Multiplayer, you can play.
I'm not saying I'm mad about that.
No, yeah.
It's just that's
I
what
don't care
people are
about
pissed off about.
Like I would feel more annoyed if they
took it out of the campaign.
Well, if they bothered to put all this history into the story mode and then get some stuff entirely off base.
Yeah, I understand that.
There's
but
no
at the same
classes
time,
anymore. There's no create a class anymore. It's like Battlefield.
I don't know. It just doesn't frustrate me, but it could be that I'm just not a big Call of Duty connoisseur.
Neither am I.
I've played. Oh my god! I think I've played all of them.
Oh, you suck.
Oh no.
They got you by the balls.
Oh god.
Let's see. What else? Oh, God of War.
Looks amazing.
It looks like The Last of Us with Kratos.
It does, but I'm down for that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Again, I said this before and I'll say it again.
Yeah.
As long as The Last of Us vibe doesn't overtake God of War, I'm
agree 100%.
absolutely.
It doesn't
down
look
for
like
this.
it will.
I don't think so.
It looks similar.
I think they are
Same voice actor.
very different.
Visuals look amazing.
Wait, same voice actor for Kratos?
Yep.
You're kidding?
Nope.
He sounds so different.
He's older. I mean, the guy's older.
Well,
they're both older.
I guess it's been like nearly 10 years since.
Yeah,
well,
it's the
then,
same guy.
then
Wow.
it sounds better. It's more.
That's pretty cool.
Same guy.
And
authentic.
then, of course, Detroit's Become Human. Sorry, we're not getting to Spider-Man yet. Detroit's Become Human. I know. I want to talk about it too, but Detroit Become Human.
I hate Quantic Dream. Recently, I actually loved Heavy Rain when I first played it.
They added the guy from Grey's Anatomy.
Who cares?
Detroit looks terrible.
They kept the same little, like, from Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain, you know, when you have to move the right analog stick and, like, the certain path. Like,
it's almost like QuickTime.
It's the same thing. You don't do anything.
Yeah,
It's gonna
it bothers me because I feel like of the games, because
so
I didn't play Beyond.
It was
I played
awful.
Heavy Rain for 5-something hours and I stopped because it was just trash. This of the
Heavy Rain had a
games
good
that
plot, though.
I couldn't stand it. I thought the
Really?
acting was
The
so
acting
fucking
is
bad.
awful.
I couldn't. That ruined it for me. And the whole thing is about
Nom and Jade and FBI.
This is a
Ethan!
fucking-
Ethan!
This is the fucking. This is the worst fucking game I've played in years. And
Beyond is bad. There's a whole 2-hour section where, in the middle of all the ghost mysticism, you find a Native American family and decide that you're going to help them purge their house of evil horsemen Native American spirits.
No.
And then they never
No.
talk about it again. Mm-hmm.
So Detroit Become Human.
One of them looks at her in the shower!
Okay. Of the ones they've made.
Looked at Ellen's page!
Hey ho. This is.
They didn't show anything, though!
Oh my god! Stop. This is the one game they've made where I'm like, I can see myself maybe being interested.
No.
But
No.
I have no interest in playing a game where it's like I'm just walking around.
That's
and
all
just-
their games are.
Yeah. And
You're going to blur the line between game and the story. It's like, no.
no, David Cage. No, you're not.
You made me make dinner for some schmuck in
David
Beyond Two
Cage
Souls.
sounds like a Mortal Kombat character.
No, you're thinking of
Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage.
Nick Cage in a
Oh
Mortal
no!
Kombat
Hey,
game.
that's the most dangerous thing you've said.
Wouldn't
in
that
this
be
entire
sick? Can you
podcast.
imagine if Nick Cage played Johnny Cage?
Yeah. Let's ride! Shoots lightning.
That's disgusting. That's
I'm
right.
gonna kill
It doesn't
you.
matter. He takes all their powers.
Jesus Christ. And then
I am a Shao Kahn.
here's
Ew.
something that I want to talk about. Destiny 2.
I don't care. The first one
Neither do I.
destroyed me.
Like, I've heard a lot of people, like, that's the same reaction I had initially. But the more I see of it, the more like I feel like
It
again,
looks the same.
this is what Battlefront 2
To me,
it was doing to Battlefront 1.
To
It
me,
feels
Destiny's Halo plus World of Warcraft.
yeah. I mean, I like one of those. I like Halo a lot.
World of Warcraft, for the record, is like fun when you're in, and this is a controversial statement, I'm sure, but like when I was in elementary school, it was really fun. But once you pass like age 14,
What the fuck are you trying to say about me? I'm kidding.
I have not touched
it
World of
ceases to be
Warcraft.
rewarding. It's just too much work.
Yeah.
To get any achievement or trophy in the game.
That being said,
To the point where it's not fun
we
to play.
did enjoy the Warcraft movie, even though I haven't played one Warcraft game.
It's fun. The
I
reason why
enjoyed
the
the South
Warcraft
Park
movie is
Warcraft
fun
episode.
Okay,
is because it doesn't take itself seriously. It
Yeah.
just goes with the flow
I
and
don't
knows
know.
what it is.
I want to see more of Destiny 2,
Yeah.
and I think it has potential to do what
I didn't like the
I don't
first
know
one.
if Battlefront 2 is going to be what we want it to be, but I think Destiny 2 has the potential to be what we wanted Destiny 1 to be.
Mm.
There's an
Yeah.
opportunity. I feel like we have to wait for it to launch before.
I didn't really like Destiny 1 as
see,
a whole anyways, though.
I thought Destiny was fun when playing with friends. I think that's the essence of the game, and it's hard to really like get invested in the game when you don't have people to play with.
Yeah, I guess.
So I don't know.
It's just the dungeons and stuff. It's just bullet sponges.
Yeah.
So many bullet sponges.
and I don't know.
it took like 20 minutes for one It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yep.
I played it for a decent amount of time, but yeah, it was definitely
It was insane.
definitely an unpolished, not so perfect game.
And it was so expensive to make.
Let's be real.
Jeez.
In regards to the Sony conference, the two games, to me personally, and I'm not sure you guys felt, that stole the show were God of War and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was, if not for Shadow of Colossus, Spider-Man
Yeah.
would have been my favorite moment of
But
that.
it looks like the Arkham games.
But tonally,
better.
it's Spider-Man. It's
Yeah.
absolutely Spider-Man.
It feels like
Yeah.
it borrows the fighting mechanics, yes, but with the
Well, the whole
exception
Predator section in the beginning.
Well, that was Predator.
No, like the Batman Arkham Predator mode.
Yeah, but
I'm not talking about the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I know, but I
That's
feel-
what it's
no,
called.
I know
That's what it's called.
I know you're
No,
not.
no, I feel like the Batman
But
fighting
are you saying the
mechanics.
Spider-Man game had it?
That whole stealth part in the beginning.
Oh,
there's
I thought you
Spider-Man
meant like
games
the
had it.
actual Predator.
No,
thing.
that's Detective
Oh,
Vision.
okay.
I feel like the Spider-Man,
I see.
what is it, the Batman Arkham like Asylum or just Arkham game series,
Arkham Trilogy,
fighting,
I
yeah,
guess.
whatever. Those fighting mechanics, I feel like work so well, just generally speaking. Like Shadow of Mordor borrows heavily from that.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of revolutionized
Yeah.
fighting in video games. So I feel like for Spider-Man to use it, but put its own like
Spin on it.
There's a lot
spin
more
on it works
environmental
really well.
stuff.
That's
yeah,
exactly
and
what
the
I was saying.
webs. The way
That's
you
the
use
thing
webs
that I
is
felt
perfect.
really stuck out is how he interacts with the environment.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when he webs the crane and like it flips over the three
Yeah.
guys and knocks them out. That was so fucking cool. And I mean,
I just hope the story isn't.
I want
trash.
some really comic book villains. Like
They did Mr. Negative,
Mr.
an
Negative,
obscure
Mi-
villain. That was
Mr.
awesome.
Negative is cool. Kingpin is a great villain, and I can't wait to see where he fits.
Vulture's totally going to be in it.
But
'cause
I need some fucking dumbass villains in my Spider-Man game.
I've always wanted
I need
Mysterio.
I need Shocker. I need Doc Ock. I need Sandman. I need the Lizard. I need the classic Spider-Man villains in this game.
you
Who's
know,
the one that's the Safari like
Craven.
Oh, I would
that
love
would be awesome.
Craven.
Oh, Craven would be awesome in it. The way I feel is this: if that were to be true and all the classic villains were in it, I would love it.
Yes.
And if it was purely obscure villains,
Yes.
I would love it.
Yeah.
Either way works.
Something tells me though Venom's not going to be in it, and
Yeah.
that kills me. But I don't know. I'll wait. To
It's
see.
sad, but I feel like we got into a rut with Spider-Man games where they would just rely on how cool the symbiotes are to sell you a game. For the past like 3 Spider-Man games
Yeah,
or so.
I mean, I would always equip like the black suit costume.
Yeah,
anyways.
it was like they knew that everyone thinks the symbiotes are super
Which is
cool,
cool.
and they'd use it, but I felt like it got to a point where they would prioritize like the symbiote aspects of the
Yeah.
game.
I feel like the idea of the symbiote peaked at Carnage. Like that is as much as you can do with the symbiote, where it's like okay,
Yeah,
outside
haven't
of
seen-
comics, right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
like just in general, in my opinion.
Sure.
I think Anti-Venom's cool.
What I'm trying to say is, I'll rephrase what I was trying to say. I just felt like they got to a point where they were like, if our game's bad, we're just going to use
Throw a
Venom or
symbiote
Carnage and
in
throw a
it.
symbiote in there, and everyone's going to love it because Venom's super
Well,
cool.
wasn't there a whole game that was about the symbiote?
Yes.
Which one was
I
that?
don't remember.
Web of Shadows.
I didn't play that one.
It was cool. It was
Well,
fun.
then they did the whole time travel one.
The Shattered
Yeah.
Dimension.
No one
Yeah.
bought that one.
I bought it.
No, you're not. It's a different. It's a different
Oh,
one.
are
It's
you
the
talking
sequel.
about the
It's
one-
Edge of Time. Spider-Man
Edge of Time.
Time.
I didn't buy that
No
one.
one bought that one.
You're right.
Shattered
Yeah.
Dimensions is awesome. I
Shattered
really loved it.
Dimensions is a decent game.
I played the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 video
I
games.
actually played the
Felt like
Amazing
it had the
Spider-Man one game.
best.
I played the
Very
first
bad
one.
idea.
It had the best skins, I'd say, Shadow Dimensions, and I felt like what they did a great job of doing was differentiating the different alternate Spider-Man from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think,
that's true.
I feel like from a comic perspective,
The noir
they killed it.
Spider-Man was
Was
cool.
so cool.
That was my favorite part.
I
of the
love
game.
From like I feel like a comic movie perspective, they killed it with Shattered Dimensions. But
Yeah.
I feel like from a video game standpoint, with the exception of
There
noir
wasn't much
stealth
replay
mode,
value.
right? It was just relatively boring.
Yeah. But as a Spider-Man fan, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, the noir gameplay, however,
Was
was
so
always
cool.
fun.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
also love the 2099 stuff.
Yeah,
Visually,
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
fun.
it looks cool,
Just
but the
absolutely
gameplay
cool.
was, I felt like the most bland for that one.
All right. And
Right.
finally, we'll be done soon, but first, let's get over the last conference. Quite frankly, my favorite. Nintendo.
I actually didn't watch that one.
What?
Yeah.
You need to fucking watch it.
I'm not going to buy a Switch.
Why?
Because I just want to focus.
All right, Toby, take it away.
There's so many PS4 games coming out. I just don't want to.
I mean, I agree, but there's so many things that the Switch has that
It's
no
just
one
not-
else has.
Yeah, I know that's
Nothing
true.
else
I'm not
has.
saying it's bad. It's just not.
Like, it's at least
For me.
supplementary for the PlayStation. Like, if you're gonna get another,
I guess
if you're
so.
getting another platform, you'd probably be better off with the Switch because the PS4 is basically like an underpowered PC. So you don't
Mhm.
need a PC unless you have the money to burn. If
True.
you wanted another console, you'd probably be better off with.
I guess maybe if they add more
Well, I mean,
stuff. Mario Odyssey looks so cool.
the stuff
though.
they announced at this conference really inspired
I
confidence.
like the
in-
theory that T-Rex is an overgrown Yoshi or a fully mature
That would
Yoshi.
actually be a great
That would be
twist.
really cool.
Rocket League.
It goes to roar.
So-
and you just hear Yoshi.
So here's something I want to point out. So I'm on the Nintendo Switch Reddit page a lot because I don't have one, but I just want to see what's happening with the Switch. And for the past couple months, there have been multiple posts about people asking the devs of Rocket League to put the game on Nintendo Switch. And they announced it at this conference. And I think that's cool because people are not only listening and, giving into the demand of
Because
people.
they're a AA studio, not a
True.
AAA.
Yeah, but
Which so they can.
what's impressive is that they would do the same thing for Wii U, and it
Mhm.
wouldn't always work. But for this game, and it's only the first year,
I feel like Rocket League.
that shows a lot of that. I feel like that's evident of that the Switch has a lot of legs to go. on.
Yeah, I feel like Rocket League is kind of like the perfect game for the
Absolutely.
Switch.
I love playing. I played it for a couple hours on PS4, and I feel like this is a game I would absolutely buy again for Switch.
Yeah.
It's
It's just good.
It's
just
a
good,
great
fun
fucking game.
I feel like that sums up Nintendo. It's
Yeah.
just good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, it's a perfect game.
There's nothing else to say.
Yeah.
It's a perfect game for the Switch.
Yeah.
Well, Mario Odyssey looked so cool.
Here's the one game I don't really care about, and
the Xenoblade or whatever.
Xenoblade. It's
It's super anime.
it's super
I'm not
anime.
into it.
I know this is very typical man of me, but the one thing I couldn't take my eyes away from this trailer was just how big the girl's chest was. Like it was it was absolutely cartoonish. She had legitimate melons on her chest,
But are they
bigger than her
animated?
head. They are animated.
Fully animated.
Absolutely.
Do they operate independently of one another?
Absolutely.
Well, anime is notorious for for making boobs or just anything like boobs
Just
and butts
ridiculous.
just jiggle to a degree where it's like the animators totally focused
Someone
on
had
the
to
jiggle.
take the time to animate.
Yeah, like I feel like they animated the whole thing and they were reviewing all the footage they had and they were like, "Oh my god, we are missing the jiggle."
They just
And
put
then they added
ragdoll.
it.
Well,
They
it's-
just put ragdoll physics on our boobs.
I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen this, but in some
Dead or
recent-
alive.
But in some recent Japanese games, they have like mini games where you just poke the girls,
Are you
like
serious?
Yeah, they
like
do.
the schoolgirls, and they're all like all shy and nervous, and they're like,
There's an anime.
it's like it
that's-
gets really perfect.
Dude, there's an anime where it's literally it's literally just like a yoga instruction show.
Oh, I've heard about
with
this.
anime
The whole
characters.
anime, Ben, you're gonna love this. This whole anime is just watching this anime girl do yoga. I don't remember what it's called, but there's a whole anime about. I mean, some animes don't have plots. I love the look you're giving me right now. It's like you're losing faith in humanity.
Each episode.
No, there's
by
a
the way-
VR game.
Yeah.
That the whole point of it.
Oh, but you're tutoring someone, right?
No, there's a VR game where the whole point of it is you have to take a picture of the girl's vagina, and if she catches you, she beats the shit out of you.
Well,
That's disgusting.
I guess we know
Yep.
that VR is the future now.
Wow, they're already making games that would like
That are
concern you more than porn. That's like child porn type
Basically.
stuff.
What if it's an 80-year-old vagina? Would you feel less
like I
guilty?
feel like someone would go to. I feel like the developer of that game, like just everyone involved, would go to jail.
I like
Probably.
how you did not acknowledge the sentiment 80-year-old vagina.
It's not though.
It's too much.
It's too much for even the 80-year-old woman.
Oh no.
Next, this I wasn't expecting. Kirby. We got a Kirby game on Nintendo Switch.
I think it's gonna be fun, and that's.
I've never been
Right.
huge into Kirby games, but
I hope it's gonna be like Kirby's Yarn story.
Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yep,
I'm
Yarn.
lame, but my
Grandma
favorite Kirby
sewing.
game was always what was it called? Something with the mirror.
Magic
on
Mirror.
Game Boy?
Magic
Magic Mirror.
Yeah.
That one is awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Then after that, this was the biggest announcement.
That one's awesome.
This
The
was-
Pokemon RPG.
It's funny because they had a Nintendo Direct the week before E3 to announce that they were porting Pokken Tournament to the Switch,
Oh really? That's cool.
and they everyone was watching that, waiting for this announcement. And then everyone was super pissed it didn't come. I think that they announced it in response to that because they didn't have anything to show. Because they said it's not going to come out for more than a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're like, okay, fine. We're just going to confirm, yes, it exists. You're not going to see it for a long time,
That's still
but
cool,
it
though.
exists. But it's cool because this is essentially what people have been asking for. It is
For
a
years.
It is a
For
console
years.
RPG Pokemon game. This is what people have wanted for fucking years.
I know if any game were to actually
Work.
persuade me to buy a Nintendo Switch,
Yeah.
it would definitely be the Pokemon RPG.
And I
And
think
Mario Odyssey.
that
Mario
and-
Odyssey looks great, but the thing about Mario is that there are so many Mario games that
That's
get
true.
released yearly. It's no longer
not
something
yearly.
that
They
grabs
come out
me.
like every couple of years. Like I've played.
I wonder how many there are.
Like I
total,
can
though.
tell you
There's
that
a
you can
lot.
skip Super Mario 3D World. Like it's a fun game, but it's not a necessity. Like I feel like the only ones you need to play to just get Mario is 64 Sunshine and the 2 Galaxy games.
Which is what the new one looks like, a combination of all of those plus something completely new.
yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
I
awesome.
agree.
And if not for the Pokemon RPG announcement, not this actually. I'm referring to the thing next. If not for this next announcement, then Pokemon thing would have been.
gets Metroid?
You fucking guessed
Yeah.
it. Holy shit!
It was time.
Dude.
It's been a long
It's
time.
been Metroid Prime 3 came out in 2007. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 10 years.
10 fucking years at least. Fuck.
Finally.
Fuck.
Metroid.
I love Metroid so
You
much.
stated it, I think, in the group chat, but it was about Metroid being the unsung hero
Of
of
Nintendo, yeah.
And I think you're right. I always felt like, in a weird way, Metroid was kind of like, you know how companies like.
It's getting
Jesus
hot.
Christ.
I trust me.
I
When we
know.
talk about Metroid, I get hot too.
You know how companies like Disney, for example, they don't want to attach their Disney name to a rated R movie, so they'll have a smaller studio that they
Like
own.
Miramax.
Right.
Yeah.
Where they like, what is it? Publish the rated R movie. Well, in regards to Metroid, I always felt like that was the closest to a rated M or mature game that Nintendo really had, and I felt like that was part of the appeal.
Yeah.
It was like the edgier side of Nintendo.
Yeah.
I just love Metroid Prime, and Super Metroid is one of my favorite games ever. And quite frankly, I think this is, if not for the Pokemon RPG announcement, this is the thing that maybe Nintendo fans wanted the most. And what's funny is that in the spotlight, I think that's what they called it, they were announced back to back. Like within 5
Oh, really?
minutes, they got maybe the 2 biggest announcements Nintendo fans have wanted for years.
Yeah, I think Metroid looks great, and
That means there was no footage.
What was the trailer?
No, there was literally no footage.
Oh, really? They didn't even put a trailer?
Did you guys watch any of the
I told
Nintendo
you I
stuff?
didn't watch the Nintendo
You
conference.
gotta fucking watch the Nintendo conference.
I just read an article about the
Oh my
Metroid.
god.
Metroid
it's
games-
30 minutes long.
And-
Metroid games just look great, whether you see the footage or not. You just know it's gonna look good. It's Metroid.
Yeah, it's Metroid. I'm just excited to see Metroid back. And there are 2 Metroid games coming out. There's one for Switch, and then there's one for the 3DS.
I don't care about the Switch, but Metroid Prime 4, awesome.
And
I agree.
what's cool is that we got this one, which is a 3D first-person shooter, and then the one on 3DS is a
Yeah.
2D side-scroller. So
Perfect.
it's like filling 2 voids. And also, apparently, what's some people were pretty frustrated with was that there was this person, like these couple people made like a remake of Metroid 2.
And Unreal Engine?
No, it was a
Or was that
pixelated one.
Pokemon?
It was,
Yeah, that's Pokemon.
yeah, I think it was pixelated, like
Oh, I
the
see.
original Metroid 2 came out on Game Boy, so it's in black and white.
Yeah.
But this one, it was like all pixelated with colors, but Nintendo canceled it. And people were like, why'd you cancel it? Well, the one 3DS is a remake of Metroid 2. Which is why,
Oh, awesome. Okay.
yeah, so that's why. But yeah, I feel like that sort of calmed that storm a bit. Anyways, regardless, we got another Yoshi game.
And
I mean,
it's the same. They're all the same.
Yoshi's just out of all of
yeah,
the
but
Mario characters, Yoshi's the least interesting.
Well, there's nothing to it.
Yoshi doesn't do anything.
Like, comes out of an egg.
I think it's important
and
to
Yoshi has
acknowledge.
that tongue that can stick to anything.
I think
Like my grandma.
you said that so angrily, like you hate tongues.
Because I remember I was playing a Yoshi game, and all Yoshi did was come out of eggs, and he would like
Was it Mario
grab people
Sunshine?
with his tongue. No, it was a Game Boy.
Okay.
2D.
I think it's important to acknowledge that basically Yoshi is to Nintendo what games like Knack and Little Big Planet are to Sony. Like it is literally for the young. It is for the youngins. Like this game is for the youngins. And even though it's probably not
Like Lucky Tales, am I right?
basically.
Stop. Alright.
I don't know. This one was cute. It's
Next
charming.
game.
Next game.
Zach's done with
Jesus
Yoshi.
Christ. Next up we got
Knack
Zelda.
2, am I right?
Shut up. Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC.
Whatever.
I'm cool.
Okay.
We haven't played it yet. I haven't got the chance to
Alright,
play
next
it.
game.
Fire Emblem Warriors.
I've never played a Fire Emblem game.
No interest. Move on.
It's too Japanese for
Just wanna
this.
get back to
That
PlayStation.
goddamn anime.
Well, Fire Emblem is actually really cool because
I know.
it's like XCOM for Nintendo,
Yeah,
and this is basically Dynasty Warriors with Fire Emblem. So it's
Nice.
just
another crossover.
well, yeah, they did it on the Wii U with Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
So it was like the Zelda games. Swear to God, it's like you guys know nothing about Nintendo.
I haven't owned a Nintendo console since the game.
We're not. You see, you're the big Nintendo aficionado of this group.
But you don't-
He and I are Sony guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like to be fair, I have one of each. I feel like you have an Xbox One and PS4. You have a PS4.
Yeah.
I have, I think, everything, which is actually a big detriment because I have too much. I don't know what to stop. There's too much to play.
I had a GameCube and then I got a PS3.
But do you
and
like?
I got a 4.
It's like you like. Do you guys not see any new announcements for like anything?
I don't follow Nintendo.
It's just Nintendo. Yeah, I don't really follow Nintendo that much. I did go through a lot of this stuff for the sake of, this podcast. But I found that as a whole, nothing really grabbed me that much.
Just because I hadn't played the ones before, so.
Not only that, but I just found that a lot of the Nintendo franchises are ones of which I enjoy and I love, but I feel like don't really captivate me anymore.
I feel like the only ones that would be for you guys would be Zelda, Metroid, and honestly Fire Emblem, because like Fire Emblem is a very unique franchise, and even though the storytelling it's not the most anime thing you've ever seen, it definitely it holds back on the anime.
Well, Nintendo as a whole is very Japanese.
Yeah, but Fire Emblem is cool because it's basically think XCOM and Mass Effect,
Right.
where you have characters, you get attached to them, they can die anytime.
Honestly, the only Nintendo game that, like, even though it already came out, that's, like, gotten my interest because it just looks so amazing is Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
That's the only time where I've actually been like, wow, this transcends just being a Nintendo
Yeah.
game. It's genuinely a perfect game,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we got Super Mario Odyssey.
It looks really
Holy
cool.
fuck.
It looks
This
really
game
cool.
looks awesome. It is in the same style as 64 and Sunshine.
You can
Yeah.
see that Nintendo really, pulled out all the stops on this one.
Yeah.
It's funny because people
Because no one else did.
the biggest complaint that you hear about Nintendo is that they just make the same game over again, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I feel like Nintendo, that applies to Nintendo more than anyone else.
Well, it
'cause-
feels like Odyssey is kind of their best of real of a lot of the prior Mario games. Just
But
put
I
into
feel like there's a lot of stuff in this
That's
game
new as well.
that I have not. I have not seen legitimate dinosaurs in a Mario game. I haven't seen
that
like
was jarring. For
there's
sure.
apparently there's a world in Mario where like it's if Mexico was Mars,
I saw that.
but then there's like if you're on the planet Mars, but like there's a bunch of skeletons that are Mexican that wear ponchos, and then you can ride a lion who's a taxi. Like again, these are the kinds of ideas that Nintendo can only
A
come.
side note on that, I keep seeing posts of like these white people that are like, "Oh my god, that's so racist," and all the Mexican people are like, "Oh my god, we're in a Mario game." So it's like we need to just stop that.
I see that a lot of people get really mad about that stuff, and when it
But it's
doesn't
only
even
white people.
but it doesn't
It's
even
only white
it doesn't
people.
even. I think what's it called? Virtue signaling? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, I
Anyways,
don't know.
we're getting politics.
You
political.
can't please everybody, and
Yeah.
these days with the internet, where you can immediately comment on anything, and you don't have to face
Any
face-to-face
consequences.
confrontation or consequences
Yeah.
for that matter. People just hate on everything. That's how it works.
Anyways, we're gonna end the podcast looking at one thing because there's one thing that I think we should. We've basically gone over all of E3, and I wanted to pause at the notion: what wasn't at E3 that you wanted to see? Because
Last of Us 2 trailer.
no Red Dead Redemption, no Last of Us.
I said Last of Us 2 trailer.
No, I know.
I'm kind of okay that they didn't show it. I just want them to do it when they're ready.
Yeah, I get that.
It's the same thing as Beyond Good and
But
Evil.
I missed it.
And it's the same
no, I
thing
did- I
as
missed
Beyond Good and Evil and Metroid Prime. Like, they just started development.
Right. Aside from Last of Us 2, everything else.
I wanted more new things.
satisfied with.
I was too much DLC,
Yeah.
Too many sequels.
too many sequels, I want new IPs.
I mean, you said that you talked about the rumors about the new Bethesda game from Todd Howard, and they didn't show that.
He wasn't even there.
Yeah, he wasn't there, and they didn't even show it. But they showed Skyrim.
Yep. Again,
Yeah.
for the 7th year.
But yeah,
6th year.
I'd say as a whole, I was satisfied in the sense where it was just adequate.
Yeah. I liked Ubisoft's Return to Form was good.
It's of the last couple of years, it's probably my least favorite E3, but there were some. Nothing made my jaw drop
Yeah.
like last
Well,
year.
Shadow of the Colossus.
I don't know.
Shadow of the Colossus was like, this is awesome, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like something where you see the Death Stranding trailer and you're like, I've never seen anything like this before.
Right.
So I wanted
Yeah,
to
like,
see
and-
something.
But I feel like, again, don't show me The Last of Us, don't show me Death Stranding,
Yeah.
just show me when it's ready.
Aside from my dreams of PT being revived.
I know, it's not.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we didn't see anything of? Metal Gear Survive.
Because they know it's shit and no
Because they
one
know
wants
it's-
it.
I don't fucking want that shit. Anyways, that's the end of the podcast.
You know what they did with that game, right? You remember?
Delayed it.
Well, no, the with Survive. Remember the sections in Phantom Pain where the
Yeah, it's the
we're
same,
talking about
it's
this.
the same.
It's
No,
mess.
it's just that
No,
we're
I know.
covered in sweat because of how hot the room is, and I'm just
It's
seeing
very
it.
hot.
I know.
in here.
Well, no, in Phantom Pain where the skulls would come out and like they would turn the other soldiers into zombies.
Yeah.
They just took that. It's the same engine, so they just took those animations, shoved everyone in a portal, and that's it.
No, yeah, it's garbage.
It's not even a
fucking
new game.
garbage.
It should be just. It looks like a mod. Honestly, it looks
Yeah.
like a mod.
I'm not getting it.
I'm not-
Anyways, that's the end of the podcast. We'll hopefully have a name for the next episode.
No.
The next episode's just going to be called Now.
Okay, thanks for listening. Bye-bye! Boys, say goodbye.
Bye.